dark depths of the pandemic. I mean, Cassie knows. We'll see. I mean, we'll shy away from quiz questions and charades and stuff.
Oh no, that was the fun bit. We loved it.
Yeah, God, though, that was strange to look back on, though. One odd time. So
never say never.
We've still got people joining, so I'll just fill time for another couple of minutes. I've got a list of people that submitted their images already, for either looking at the studios or looking at images that you're thinking of getting on the samples. So thank you very much for sending those through. If I have missed anybody, or if anybody wants to join in after we've been through those who've submitted, please just pop a little message through or stick yourself off mute and virtually hold your hand up, something like that, and we'll get round to you.
I can't see it. I need to listen to this, darling. So you're going to go upstairs with me? Come on. Let's go upstairs.
Hello.
Oh, sorry. SpongeBob. Are you talking to someone? Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello. Oh, have you had your hair done just for this Zoom, Rachel?
I had a shower, so I've like just dried it. I've not really done. I've literally just dried it.
Right.
Just usually I've got out for a walk with the dog, so I look like I've been dragged through a hedge.
It's actually started snowing down here tonight, so I am staying well out of all that.
We're due to get some tomorrow.
You live in snow.
I love it.
Okay, so I'm gonna just keep letting people join as we go. There's about 50 odd people online now, so if anyone else joins, I'll just keep going. But first of all, hello everyone. Lovely to see you all. Lots of familiar faces. Thanks again to Maggie for joining us. I know it's a Friday night, but really appreciate your time, and it's very exciting. I mean, we've got the sample sale kicking off today. This is 2022. It's going to be completely different, right? We've got. I mean, I am seeing a lot of positivity and stuff like that there. Everyone's got the right idea. 2022, give it a really good positive start. So the idea of this is basically get a breakdown from Maggie of what is the most important part of selling from samples, how to use them better, and how to make the most of them, because there's a temptation to get these beautiful, stunning frames that you love and that work brilliantly for a particular image that you have and you want to see it up on the wall. But sometimes that's not always the best case. Sometimes it's better to think analytically about what your client wants to see. But obviously, Maggie can talk us through that, knows a lot more than me about that. So to kick us off, if you don't mind, Maggie, if you just start off talking about why samples are so important during the sales process, please.
Well, there's a lot of people obviously complaining that you can't sell anything, I can't sell products and things like this. And then the first question that I ask, what samples have you got? What have you got on your wall? Have you got anything on your wall? And if so, do you love it? Because there's one thing to get samples in 2009 and still have the same samples whilst your style and quality of your photography moved on. So obviously you look at those images and you don't want to sell them because they don't represent your style. So as long as you keep your samples in line with your style, in line with the quality of your work to represent you in the best way possible, obviously that's important. But more than anything, no one's going to buy a product that they don't see. So obviously think about it like this. Whatever you're in the market for, you're buying a house, you're buying shoes, you're buying handbag, you want to see how it looks like. Ideally in person, in 3D, you want to touch it, you want to see it. In the worst case scenario from photos, but ideally you want to see the product, especially at a higher high-end mark. You definitely would want to see what you're buying. And as photographers, as artists, we can imagine quite a lot of things. So we can imagine how things look like size-wise, quality-wise. And we take this for granted. So we take this ability for granted, and we think that people can also do it. But if
Sorry,
that
can
was...
I just say, if anyone's joining in and you've got the TV on or something like that in the background, do you mind just popping yourselves on mute, please?
Get them all on mute. Get them on mute, Alex.
I'll put them on mute.
So do you know the companies that stage houses? So sometimes you can buy a house and you get the house staging. That's done because not everyone can imagine how the house could look as a home. Same thing goes for wall art. People cannot imagine how sizes look like, how the style looks like, the thickness of a frame. So that's where you come, you come with samples just to show them, make their journey easier. So everything that we do is supposed to make your client's life easy, show them how it looks like, give them ideas. And those of you who do mock-ups as well during your IPS, you will know that that helps as well. So obviously get them as close to the final product, the finished product as you can, show them how it looks like.
Yeah, I'm just going through. If you haven't unmuted yourself, don't be offended if I'm muting you. Just ask to be unmuted if you want to ask anything. Cheers.
I would never buy product over £600 being a frame or acrylic or anything if I don't see how it looks like. So that's the first thing. And obviously that represents your style. You need something for your walls. When you shoot, that person, when they're not involved in the actual process of creating images, for example, for a newborn session, when you're shooting a newborn, those parents are sitting there as captive audience. So they sit there and they can be advertised to. So what I do, I talk them, to death about the things that they need, because shooting becomes muscle memory. So you know what you're doing with regards to photography. You can use your mouth, you can use your walls to sell people products. And that's why, you need that space. It's crucial to have images, you have products bang in front of your clients. So they stare at this product for an hour and a half after the session. All they can think about is this product. They want it, it fills the wall, it makes it homey. So, and also obviously remember, samples are not your gallery. Samples are there to sell products and services. They're not there to show off your ability to pose baby in 7 different million ways. And I always say that because last year, I remember we were doing this and I mentioned a lovely lady that I went to see one of the studios, and she had 30 images of 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters frames as a collection of those. So it looks great if you have another 7 million walls, but if you don't, that doesn't represent the product. That's literally multiplying one product. It doesn't give you option, doesn't give you idea how different products could work. So your samples are essentially the first way of selling that product before you even start talking about the product at the IPS. Clients come to the studio and it's a passive sale. So if you don't have that on your wall, you essentially giving yourself more work at the IPS in order to describe the product, give them idea, build that need. When they have the product in front of them for an hour and a half, that need is already getting built in their head as such. I can talk about it for hours. You're gonna have.
I was gonna say, if you just want to give me a wink or a sign when you're ready to move on,
just stop me if it gets boring. Just wave, Maggie.
No, it's great. I mean, because like I say, a lot of people have added their images over the last couple of days, and like I say, if you do want your images having looked at or your studio space or anything like that, give me a shout. Just pop me a message on Messenger or something, and we'll get to you after the people I joined in. But I think what we'll do first of all is start having a look at a few people's studios. So there's a few people that have submitted images of their studio spaces. They're just after a bit of advice, a bit of placement advice, that sort of thing. And then we can move on to some of the stuff that we're looking at of pairing the right sort of image to the right sort of product. So what we'll do first of all is start with Bruna. Is Bruna online at the moment? Yes.
In somewhere, yes, she is.
Hello. She's there.
I'm in the car.
Are you driving? You're not supposed to be driving and educating yourself at the same time, unless it's a podcast.
No, I'm the passenger. I'm the passenger. That's okay.
Good.
Oh, thank God. I thought we were going to have an incident on our hands there. I mean, if you are the driver, you look very casual about it. So that's that,
I know, but no, I'm the passenger.
So what I'll do is I'll grab up your images, Bruna. So obviously you've submitted 2 images of your studio space. So we did test this beforehand, didn't we, Maggie?
And just to give you guys an idea, so on purpose, Alex didn't send me those images. So the time I see your studio, this is the first time I see it. So it's the same as it would be for a client. So if I look at your studio and think, oh my God, it's amazing, it's a natural reaction. And if I look at your studio and think, whoa, what's happening there? That is also a natural reaction. So
I only got the studio okay, sorry. It's very new.
Okay.
So you've got the sort of studio space there with the image at the back, with a sphere or product on the wall there above the coffee making facilities, and then and does the kid come with a studio as well?
Sorry?
So,
No, she's mine. I don't share my little one.
So is that the sort of the one area where you're looking to focus on having the sample images displayed, yeah?
Yeah, it is. Well, I only got the studio in December. So I'm still obviously building everything up. But I just want to know what things should I have and what sort of layouts. I don't want to be buying something, you know, and putting it in a layout that clients aren't really going to be bothered or not see it as much.
Okay.
okie dokie. So first of all, on your wall to the right, there's a coaster on the wall. That coaster should never be on the wall. This is not the size for a full wall, right? I take it because it's a new studio, you had to put something, but first and foremost, always think about your wall art as an aspirational piece. So if you put something on the wall, it's supposed to make people feel, wow, I really want it, as opposed to, you know, it's really tiny. So what we're trying to do is it's put something on the wall that you can appreciate from afar. So you always think about it, where am I going to look at this image from? So if someone wants to buy wall art for their staircase, you know, the stairs going up the first floor, you have, what is it, like 2.5, 3 feet or something of viewing space. So you will not put 50-inch acrylic over there because it's just not enough space. But here, because you have quite a lot of viewing space, either way, whether you stand on to the left or right in the front, you need to make sure that that wall art is quite decent, whether it's a nice, decent collection or a large piece, one piece. First, I will start from the wall that we see in front of you, because you always look at the source of light first. So because it's, I assume it's a rental, so you're not going to be changing source of light. You have 2 spots of light coming from above. So what I would do, I would have two pieces, or at least 2 pieces of large wall art that's completely different in terms of output. So if you're putting acrylic on one side, put something totally different on the other side. One's horizontal, one is vertical, just to give people an idea how they would work in terms of images that you produce. As an alternative, I would have one larger piece and then large collection. You have space for quite decent size collection. So whether you want to put 4 different images as collections together or a larger multi-aperture frame, I would definitely put it either on the left or on the right of here. On the right, just for contrast, I would go to completely different shape. And those of you who joined us last year know how much I love round things. I just love round things because they're different. When your clients buy anything that's round, it always looks striking in their home. It always looks different. It's not something you can go get from IKEA as a custom-made product, and it always looks it's pleasant for the eye. Round shape in general, if you Google that, it's pleasant for the eye because anything that hasn't got corners, it's apparently easier to look at. So people, they don't know, if I was like a round person, I should actually consider that as putting on weight, easier to look at. But in general, sorry, is that yeah.
So you're saying about the round shape, would you say to get a bigger acrylic? So obviously one's still looking, because obviously the one I've got is quite small.
It's tiny, yeah. You can use it as a collection piece. So if you actually get bigger pieces for that, you can still use it. So it's not a problem at all. So with regards to round, who joined? Louise. Silence, please. So if you're looking at utilizing the one you have, you still can do it. So in terms of rounder ones, Sally,
I'll go through and mute everyone who hasn't muted themselves.
Product wise, you always look at who's your ideal client. And I know it sounds super cheesy. I remember the first time I went to Nina Mace's course and she said, oh, you need to look at who's your ideal client. I'm like, oh my God, anyone who gives me money is my ideal client. And then as you grow into your profession, you realize this is quite important to look at who is the recipient of those goods. So there's, 101 different products. You can sell something more relatable to fine art, photography. You can sell more of a modern product. I look at my clients. So in my example, my clients are always new build, straight, boring homes, you know, nothing kind of special as such, you know, 2x2 in a nice place. So with regards to new build, I'm not going to have, you know, Baroque looking frame, because I know I'm going to sell framed acrylic. Everything needs to be quite neat and tidy. So in terms of my ideal client, I know how my product is going to look like. That product's not for me. That product is to be sold to clients. So I need to make sure that product is in line with the client that I'm aiming for. So depending on your style of your photography and the clients that you tend to attract, you would either go for something modern or for something more rustic. You can go, you know, for bird sphere if you want to. So it's more substantial, more, you know, heavy product, more rustic. And it's, I'm not saying it only goes with farms, you know, it goes with majority of homes, but it's not ultra modern as such. It's not your typical gloss acrylic. So look at your clients and your type of photography that you're doing, and then you match that to the products that you're displaying. Obviously have a variety, but like for me, every single client essentially comes from modern homes. So I'm not going to present, you know, rustic finishes on my products because I know I'm not going to sell it. But if you have, you know, depending on which way you're going, on that wall, I would display large piece first. So that would be round, as big of a round piece that you can have. Then you have that mid-range one and that tiny one. With regards to the collections of round, whether it's acrylics or bird spheres, one thing I need to say to everyone, because I've seen people getting quite similar sizes of those. So you get like 30, 25 or 20. It doesn't work when it's similar, because it almost like it gives you that anxiety, like it's not the same size. Make sure they're very different sizes. So it looks like splatter on your wall. So it looks like actually consciously it looks arty, you know, one huge, one really small, and that medium size. So they actually look really, really nice together. And I'll fill the wall with that. And you can add to it as well and say to clients, they can start building like legacy wall, like Sue Bryce always says, build the legacy wall, because when they come to you for more sessions, you can always add to those products and it builds up on the bubble wall really, really nicely. So you have 3, you can have 5, they have more kids they can add to it. There's no limit to the wall of round pieces of wall art. So it does actually create an easy sell for you.
Thank you.
And the color of the wall, very important. That magnolia-ish, yellowish, that needs to go. That is, that's not.
I don't know if I'm allowed to paint it. That's my
ask
issue.
for forgiveness, not a permission. You know, get it painted.
Big stealing bottle, yeah.
So with regards to color, you're looking at something, because obviously you're going to have products that have no frame, but you're going to have products with a frame. Frame can be dark, frame can be light. So you need to have a color. You need to have color that actually works with every single type of framing color and style. The easiest I found, if you go for that 18% gray, you know, literally gray color, it's the best color for any wall art, because if it's a nice light image, it makes it stand out. If it's a darker image, it creates a feature wall anyway, so it's going to make it look nice. Yellow is really hard to match with images, because, for example, the one that you've got on your wall, it's not a dark image as such, but it almost looks like gloomy underexposed image when it comes to, you know, hanging it on yellow. So anything that you have on the wall, if in doubt, you're better off with darker than lighter. Whatever that color is on your left hand side, that grayish kind of thing, that's nice. You know, that's going to make it look nicer than that yellow.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So don't be scared, you know, with samples, what's happening, you know, that this sample sale comes and we all think, oh yeah, we need to get samples. Oh my God, but it's January, we're super broke. We're not going to go big, we're going to go small. And, you know, and you basically in that vicious circle of getting pretty much similar sizes of samples, I would say, I don't know, I don't ask Alec, because I would say 20 by 30. It's just like, you know, people get around that. Maybe
30,
samples.
24, 36,
yeah, it's 24 or like God knows, like maybe smaller, 18 by 20. It's pointless. It's counterproductive to get it, because you feel like you tick the box, you've got the samples, so you feel like you're doing something for your business, but you're essentially not doing anything for your business, because you're getting a small product that people are going to look. And if that's the biggest product you display, they're always going to think this is too big. So just in terms of sizes, you always, if you have limited wall space, and quite a lot of people will have limited wall space, and you think, oh, I only have, I don't know, 2 meters by 1 meter or something. What should I do? Shall I have a lot of small pieces, or shall I have one massive piece or 2 kind of mid-sized pieces? If you have a lot of small pieces, people will always think that this is the best you can do. If you have one massive piece, they can always think, oh, you know, this is a bit too big for me. Can I have it smaller? Of course you can have it smaller. But if you have 20 by 30 as your biggest size, they will never think that you can do bigger, because they're going to think this is the standard that she produces. So everything that I'll order, this is a bit too big for me. I'll have something smaller. I can't tell you how many times I've got two 40 by 60 in my studio, and I have 50-inch round product. And I sell those, but on top of selling those, 30 by 40 that's next to it suddenly becomes a small product. So do you know when you guys say, oh, 30 by 40, I order something big, it's not a big product. Especially it's not big when you hang it next to 40 by 60, which you have space for over there. It's like easy, 40 by 60 and that wall is going to disappear. It's going to disappear. It's going to look really, really nice. It feels like it's a big thing. It's not actually a big thing. You'll be able to appreciate it from where you shot that image. So what is it like? I don't know. 10 feet or something. You'll be able to see it properly. You'll be able to appreciate the details, as opposed to having something small and you feel like, I don't even know what's in that image. There's something on that wall, you know, some image. And also, I know we're going to touch on this today, so we're going to cover that in detail, but in terms of what we're hanging on the wall, what images we choose for those. So when you have, I don't know, family image, you have 5-6 people, on a wall art that you want to hang as a sample, because family images tend to be the best images to hang because it's relatable to everyone. Newborn image is only relatable to people who want to get pregnant, who just got pregnant. After baby is 3 months old, that is no longer relatable, because, you know, you have that newborn image. It's a time, kind of time constraint that you have. When you have a family image on the wall, that is relatable for everyone. Everyone could have a family image on the wall. So it will sell you more sessions in terms of, you know, services that you sell through that image. But where I'm getting to, because I started talking, go on a tangent. If you're hanging an image on the wall of a family, and it's, let's say, 24 by 36, which majority would think 24 by 36 is the right size, on that wall, a family of 5 on 24 by 36 will look like Barbie dolls. It's going to be really small. So if you get 40 by 60 as a sample, suddenly they can see it from where I stand and they can appreciate everyone's faces. They know who was photographed. So it's much easier this way. So if you're choosing an image for a big sample, always make sure you choose either full bodies or quite a lot of people. The aim for that is to make that big sample look small. Bear with me. It does make sense. You know, if you were to, for example, on that 40 by 60, have a headshot, it would look massive. So people would look at that wall and think, oh my God, this is way too big. It's not going to fit in my space. But if you have on the same size, a family of 5 or 6 with a dog, always get a dog, it suddenly looks really appropriate. It looks like the right size for the wall. It looks perfect. You know, and it's the same size. It's literally just everyone's head suddenly got smaller because you have more people to fit in that sample. And it does look more appropriate to the size. If you're getting 20 by 30 sample, always get, you know, one person, get a close up so it looks nice. But if you're getting something bigger, get as many people as you can in that sample.
I know you mentioned about the you know, the choice.
I was going to ask. I just got home, so I should been like trying to walk through the door.
That's how long I was talking. She got home. She got shopping done.
Yeah, I just had a birthday meal.
Happy birthday!
But yeah, I wanted to ask. Thank you. You know, with, for example, deciding which artwork, you know, samples to get and everything. Do you go kind of like deciding what kind of clients you have? Because obviously I've not long been doing it. I've only started like 7 months ago. So it's still a little bit, I'm not 100% sure what type of clients I'm getting through, because obviously it's still a bit all over the place. How do you kind of like decide what products to get first that you think, you know, obviously apart from the round ones, to definitely have that will sell, you know,
in terms of product or in terms of what to put on the product, because there's 2 different things as well. So at the moment, 7 months into business, I wasn't quite sure what I actually enjoy shooting, you know. So you think like, do I enjoy families more? Do I enjoy newborns more? Because whatever you display is what you're going to shoot more as a service and obviously sell more
Yeah.
as well. And also that sample,
Yeah.
like from my perspective, I hang samples for money. So that sample needs to bring me money, needs
Yeah.
to pay for itself 10 times over. So for example, if you
Yeah.
shoot, I'll just spread it to different services so you can take whatever you do at the moment. But if you were to shoot maternity, newborn, sitter, cake smash, family, weddings, let's say, I don't know. So you've got almost chain of sessions. So first you always meet them, but if you shoot weddings, you shoot weddings. Then you have maternity, newborn, sitter, cake smash, and family. Family tends to be the last one. If you hang an image of a pregnant woman, that sample as a service will only sell you a service to someone who that image is going to be relatable to. So it's either someone who just got married or is in early stages of pregnancy. How many people in early stages of pregnancy are you going to have in your studio? Not that many. So when they come to your studio, they're either going to just had a baby or have older kids or have a family. So that image, they're going to look at it and think, it's not, I don't relate to this. And because they don't relate to what's in the image, they will literally not even look at the finish. So first of all, you need to think, what am I going to hang in terms of service? And then I extend that to the product. So if you're hanging something, looking at the service, who are my clients or who are your clients at the moment in your first 7 months? If majority of those clients are newborn clients, let's say, you shoot a lot of newborns,
Yeah, they are.
That's the majority of your clients. When they come and sit on your sofa, they already had a baby. So you already clearly sold them the newborn idea, an idea of a newborn shoot. So what you're trying to do with the sample is to sell them the next session in line. So that sample sells you the product and that sample sells you services, two different functions for your sample. So next thing you want to sell them is the idea of a sitter session or a family shoot or a cake smash, whatever you want to shoot out of those. That is the next thing you want to sell them. Because I shoot sitter, cake smash and families, I literally want to monetize on all three. I want them to come for all three. I don't want them to just come for one. So I will literally show in my studio, majority of the samples that I have are of sitters. Because it's a session that's overlooked. People don't really book it that much, so you kind of want to encourage them to book that session. And then, cake smashes if you want to have a family. So you need to aim for the person that's sitting, where your baby's sitting, who would that person be, what would they come for, and just aim for the next session in line to show them as samples. In terms of first samples that you're getting now, you don't really know who your clients are. You're still trying to find your feet in terms of style, in terms of clients. It's hard to judge, on the lower numbers, which way you'll be going. The prices are going to change. So we need to look at something as a product that is very timeless. You cannot go very specific on the product because that timeless product will serve you for longer at the moment. Yeah. So it needs to be finished that's actually relatable when it comes to modern houses, traditional houses. So I would look at traditional framing for here. Not the Baroque, golden, gilded things, traditional. What is that frame, Alex, that I had, that is really nice, that traditional looking thing?
You've got a number of different options there. You've got like the vintage wenge, you've got one of the Fine Art Natural premiums has like a very ornate Baroque, like the ornate frames.
Not the ornate, the really nice, like classic one, but the chunky one that I really like.
Yeah, the vintage, yeah.
So, they're quite large, but at the same time, they are traditional. They are simple. They look expensive, but they're not overly, over the top. So whether you shoot something quite plain or whether you shoot fine art, they're actually going to go with both styles.
Yeah.
So you look at something, like classic, timeless.
Okay.
But don't go super simple because they're going to look at it and think, I can get that from IKEA. So it needs to be something that actually adds a bit of beef to the image, but don't overpower the image.
Okay.
So yeah, something classic, something timeless, something traditional. Then as you find your feet and you decide, for example, I want to go more into fine art style, you're matching those frames to go with your images. So then you would go with, Alex, what you were saying.
Well, for the Fine Art Naturals, the Sovereign frames outselling everything at the moment.
That's the one.
It goes in some really sort of diverse home decors. So you've got like two really beautiful grey options there. You've got the white option and you've got the walnut. So you've got some great colour matches for everything. But I think because it looks slightly ornate, slightly modern, it's very, very sort of what's the best word?
It's my favorite. I love that sovereign thing. That it literally, I saw it on large piece, I saw it on small piece. It does look really, really lovely. Clients love it.
If you're talking about 60/40s and you're going for like a sort of sovereign grande, so the grande frame's about 3.5 inches wide, sort of thing. Suddenly that adds an extra 6 inches to the overall size. Even if you go on, even if the client sort of like talk you down to a tiny 40/30, Maggie.
They never do.
With the grande frame on, it does add serious sort of weight to the image.
Yeah, that's fine. At
makes
the
it
minute,
look
I've
more
been mainly newborns.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've mainly done.
Well, I mean, with newborns, that frame's absolutely perfect. That or the thatch if you were going for fine art frames. But like Maggie said, if it's sort of modern homes you're looking at, things like the Camden tray frame. I mean, the image you sent across to me, Camden tray frame in a nice one of the Scandi colours, like a walnut or an oak, or the white, would be wonderful with that one. But go with the acrylic finish. I mean, there is 3 options, and if some images will suit the fine art option or the photographic option, but 9 times out of 10, the customer sales are coming from the acrylic finish on those.
Yeah, thank you.
And if you get stuck on colors, Wenge goes with everything.
Well, that's the thing. I've been shooting I've majority had girls, and there's been a lot of pink going on in my sessions. There's so much pink, so it's kind of hard to decide what to get and things.
It's got warm tones, so that's why it kind of goes with everything. But it's warm tone that will also go with black and white, also go with cooler images as well. So you have that. Always remember for frames, what I find that works. I mean, I've seen images from famous photographers. I'm not gonna mention the names of. They do shoot white frames with dark images, but as general rule, what works better, whatever the tone of the image is, to have the frame that's darker than the image, because it almost wraps your image. It gives you that natural vignette as such. If you go for brighter frame, what you find, the image suddenly looks like it's underexposed. It's not underexposed, it's perfectly exposed, but with lighter frame, it almost feels like it's out of place. For me anyway,
Thank you.
But definitely first, if you can paint your studio, get something more neutral, because warm colors literally define your images that you put on your wall, and it just makes everything look completely different.
Thank you.
And then something decent size. Don't be scared. I would rather go for 1 big piece of sample, or 2, rather than 7, 8 smaller ones at this stage. Just don't get the same size for everyone as well. Don't get the same size samples, because obviously if someone says, oh, I'm thinking of 24 by 36, how would that look like? There we go. I'm thinking by 30 by 40. How would it look like? Don't get the same size. Sorry?
Thank you.
David. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks very much there, Bruno. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Right, what we'll do is move on to the next person. But if you are just joining us and you're not on mute, if I just ask you to mute yourself, please, just so we don't hear any background noise, that'd be brilliant. Thanks. There's about 70 odd people in here now.
Hello.
For me to get everyone on there. So we will move on to Nina. Nina Callow, are you online there? Got your images here. Yeah.
Alex, talk a little louder.
Can you hear me okay?
It's not just me. Get that magic microphone out.
Alex, I don't know if you can hear me, but I am here.
Hello, Nina. Yeah.
Hi there. Hi there. Hi, Maggie.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, thank you.
I mean, we spoke this morning. We could hear each other fine, couldn't we?
Have a wall to submit.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to mute Rebecca there. Right. So Nina sent across some images of her studio earlier. What I'm going to do is, if we close down that one there and then seamlessly move into Nina's. So with the room samples. So this is a recent conversion that you've been doing for within a home studio. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I've just converted what was my big living room into a studio.
Fantastic. Can everyone see that okay?
Yep.
That's obviously the back.
So Nina, if you want to just sort of give us a few details about the various different images, because there's sort of 3 of the studio images to go through.
Yeah.
So if we start with that nice big wall, yeah?
Yeah, so this is behind my wall mounted backdrop that is on the other side of that image, which you don't have an image of. Obviously, I put my little bit of paper up there so that we could whack that into Pro Select possibly to, to put the sizes and stuff. So my one concern with this is it's going to be behind, although the other Bruna's studio was the same. It looked like her clients were sitting and the images were going to be behind. So I assume it's not massively a problem. And I'm not going to have a sofa and stuff. It's not going to be like that. There's going to be some chairs, so I can kind of position those. And mum and dad are normally quite involved in my shoots anyway. So I want something. Alex and I were talking yesterday. We thought possibly 2. I'm slightly concerned now. I've painted the grey over with white because that room was totally that colour. But I wanted the white for the lights and the bouncing of the lights. The floor won't be brown. It's going to be covered over. But this is the front, and then those other images, Alex, I don't know if you can bring them back up for me. We've got a space that currently had a photograph in of my son, which I've taken down ready, in between. So that's going to be over what will be my desk. So it will be very minimal and just a Mac on there in my workspace. So I think we can utilize this for something possibly. And then this is the back half of that room. And then opposite where that storage is, where I've been putting my bits and pieces, there's a big space in the middle there where I had an A1 picture, which is the other picture, if you don't mind putting it up, Alex, which I'm assuming we can utilize as well.
Where's your backdrop going?
So can you see just at the top right there, the edge of the backdrop mount? Yeah, Alex is pointing to it. That whole wall is my shooting wall.
Okay, cool. So all the images that we've seen, they're not going to be covered with paper or anything?
No, that's the one thing you haven't seen. And the windows, obviously, I've got a big bay window, which you haven't seen either, but you can obviously, so that's here. Yeah, thank you, Alex.
Just heads up for everyone with regards to paper roll backdrops. Do not forget that that can be used as space for wall art behind as well, because when someone comes for IPS, you literally roll your paper, tape your paper, and then you have space for collections and things like this underneath. So don't feel like this is like dead space. It's not dead space. So
okay,
it can be used for the space that you've got here. There's 2 different things to consider, obviously, where people are looking out of interest. Why not sofa? Why chairs?
I'm worried about the space I've got because I'm used to shooting in my family room, which has got 6 meters of bifold. So I'm used to having masses and masses of space. I can't remember. It's not a small room, but I'm shooting across it because I want to side light and I only use natural light. And if I stick a sofa there, I'm going to be sitting in front of them, kind of. I just can't get my head around how I would have the space.
Because what you do, you naturally, chairs have certain width. And if you get 2-seater sofa, and I mean like those skinny, French looking sofas, not the massive chunky corner things.
Yeah.
They're essentially going to take the same width, same depth, as the chairs, but they're actually going to feel a bit more luxurious. Chairs feels like a waiting room for a hospital. So what you're trying to get people to feel like they're getting what they paid for. If you get chairs, you're going to feel like, I'm just going to get those folded chairs because I can fold them and then use that space. Worst idea ever, because you walk in and you think, oh my God, that looks cheap. You don't want clients to ever feel like your space is cheap. You've got nice, nice space going on, nice high ceilings. Don't cheapen it with furniture. And you can actually get really affordable furniture that looks the part. So I would consider a very small sofa here so 2 parents can sit on it comfortably.
We've actually just had a really interesting suggestion come through on the chat there. Could you not build a window seat?
I was kind of planning to shoot in the window. And since you saw it yesterday, Alex, there's now voiles up at that window, which look absolutely disastrous from the outside. I've made the outside of my house look dreadful, because now the front of my house has got voiles at the big bay window. But possibly, but I was kind of planning on hopefully using, because I shoot into the window a lot in the back room. So I don't know, I'd be certainly.
Or you're going to end up doing and moving people's crap, and bags. Now can you just move it from the window?
Yeah.
So, in terms of the space that you've got, obviously it's super nice space for decent size wall art. Consider the fact that obviously radiator is going to be on, so over the radiators, last thing you want is canvas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't send it to Alex. Oh, this is a bit slack. No, you put it over the radiator. We all know now he's recording it. So.
Any sort of G-Clay product, I would stay clear of above.
Yes. Yeah.
put something robust and then quite high as well. So over this, I would probably look at a frame and then give it a foot difference or whatever you can, and still use it. If you have something square over that radiator, that will give you a bit of space to lift it up. Still going to present it really, really nicely, but you don't, do it too close to the radiator. On the left-hand side, what I would do is put 40 by 60 here, but we don't have to do that. Alternative, you can do collection. So collection that would look really nice here is, I do actually have it on the website if you want to have a look properly, but it's 2 20 by 30s and then 18 by 20. So it almost looks like puzzles. It's 4 separate pieces. You can have it as canvases, you can have it as acrylic, you can have it as frames, whatever you want, but it looks as a nice, really, really nice joint collection, and you can have it at any finish whatsoever. And that fills the space really, really well. But at the same time, you can use those images as separate. So if someone says, oh, and I want a big collection, how would it look if it's smaller? Oh, actually, you can buy it as separate as well. The reason why I'm saying collection here, because I already know I'm going to say to you, get 40-inch round over your desk.
Okay, yeah.
And, so there's different spaces in your room to accommodate different things. And between those shelves that you've got, 30 by 40, I think that would look really, really nice. Vertical 30 by 40.
Right, okay.
So yeah, round here, like 40-inch, that's going to fit really, really nicely in that space. 30 is going to disappear. Don't be fooled, because you're going to think, I'm just going to get 30. Don't get 30. You're going to have all that margin around, and it's going to serve nothing. 40 is going to be really good. Here I would do vertical 30 by 40. It just almost screams for that. In a nice white frame, probably, just to match the lines you already have.
Yeah.
So you would have that. But that space for collection, if you're feeling brave, and if you don't feel like collection, 40 by 60 is going to look epic there as well. But either collection or 40 by 60, whatever your photography kind of calls for. If you're more lifestyle, if you shoot quite a lot of images, so if your galleries are massive, you will feel like your images rely, and that's for everyone who shoots lifestyle or shoots natural light, shoots 70 image collections, galleries, you are more likely to sell a collection of wall art as opposed to one piece, because your photography is based on emotion rather than one key feature image. Yeah. So you shoot quite a lot, you shoot mum with kids, dad with kids, like smiling, hugging, maybe some outdoors for outdoor photographers as well. You'll find collections are the way to go for you. And that space literally calls for collection. Then you can have the story through your collection as well.
Okay. Could I ask a question, Maggie?
Yeah.
So I do 2 very different things in the main, and this is just a studio space. So my main thing is still going into my clients' homes, doing documentary lifestyle. But those clients, I'm coming on your training in March, but those clients aren't at the moment going to be coming into this space at all. They're located quite away from me, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to be showcasing my studio stuff in here, I would think. But I was interested to hear what you were saying about family, because that is the lion's share of my business.
Albums.
Also, okay, because I'm assuming don't put a family outdoor image on a wall of a studio where I'm shooting newborn sitters, cake smash maternity, I assume. Or do put a family image up here?
Always. If you're going for one big one, always family. And nice, whatever you shoot more, whether it's outdoor or indoor, that's what you would display, because that's essentially what you want to push, or whatever you enjoy shooting more. But in terms of documentary style, albums are your way to go, because obviously you will shoot quite a lot of images that are batch edited, and you're more relying on telling the story. If you shoot studio, like for example, my family session for studio is 15 images. It's 1.5. So I wouldn't do albums because there's not enough beef. But
no, I'd never have a family in my studio ever. It's not, I don't do that. So that's why I'm just wondering, do I put this on my wall?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to encourage them to get it booked, then definitely whatever you want to sell, that's what you display. So for people who shoot studio, but they shoot quite a lot of outdoor, and they say, oh, should I put outdoor? Well, of course, if that's what you want to shoot, if that's what you enjoy shooting, and that's what brings you money, put it out there, because it advertised further sessions.
I mean, if they've come for a newborn, I assume that you would go for, an image with a family with some slightly older children kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Because then, that's the natural progression.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you both. Thank you very much.
You can sell that, as a service and as an image. If you have 40 by 60 with a family with, kids like 5, 6, 8, that's going to be relatable for years to come. If you have a family with a newborn, they feel like they're no longer that family when their kid grows up. So
Yeah, I understand. Thank you.
Just a
But
quick
yeah,
one,
really
Maggie.
nice space, lovely colors. I do like it.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Just a quick one, Nina, while you're still on.
Yeah.
Sam would like to know where the units are from because she really likes them.
Yeah, they're from IKEA. They're the Elvari range, and lovely Cheryl Catton told me about those. She had them, and I copied her first. So
Fantastic.
I
Other
put them up.
shelving
Yeah,
ranges are
thank you.
available.
Yeah, and easy to put together.
Just a quick one, Maggie. If you were saying if you're shooting newborns, have different images up there, so have maternity, would you still have some newborn images in
Oh
there?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's what you're selling. That's what you want them
Yeah.
to buy, isn't it? Sort of thing. So it's not like ruling that out, is it?
No. You have it. So for example, like breakdown for my studio, you always think about it. What brings you money? What you enjoy shooting? And what's going to bring you more client in terms of numbers as well. So I still, in my studio, I still have samples of maternity. I think I have 2 now, but it's not going to be the image that's going to be in my main viewing area. It's not going to be the image that's banging opposite the sofa, for example, because that's going to be relatable to less clients. But I'll still have it because people who potentially are coming for a newborn shoot, I would assume 50% of them will have another baby, and that gives them an idea that you're doing it. But it's more what you're trying to sell. So for example, I want to get everyone to have a family session. They're my favorite sessions. They're fast. They bring me, decent money, more money per hour than newborn, for example. So I will whack those family sessions everywhere because that's what I want to shoot. I personally struggle with, patience with newborn sessions. So I'm thinking, the less I put, the less they book. And it's true, the less you put out, that the less they book that session. So just literally whatever you want to shoot, that's exactly what you display. And you also display images for sessions that are harder to sell, but bring you more money. So for example, out of all the sessions that I mentioned, the 5 sessions, the most profitable, believe it or not, is the sitter session. So if you break newborn session apart and you divide the hours that you put into it, so editing, shooting, per hour, it normally brings us half the money that sitter session does. Sitter session is much faster, it's faster to edit, faster to shoot. And I always want to make sure that I advertise things that are better for me per hour as a service. So I would advertise things that, obviously bring you a bit more profit, and you want to shoot. So what you display is literally what you're going to end up working with. Same for social media.
Awesome, thank you. That was completely ad hoc as well. Right, thanks again, Nina.
Thank you very much, both of you. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. We'll go to Katarzyna. I'll see if we can unmute you. Are you there, please? Katarzyna?
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me okay, yeah?
Yes.
Wonderful. Right. So thanks again for taking part. I'm just going to change the share now to your space.
Okay.
So if you could just sort of explain to myself and Maggie what we're kind of looking at here and how you would describe the space that you work in.
So I would like to have, I don't have any art, any wall art, nothing at the minute. So I would like to have some of my images on. So I'm looking, this wall actually is 5 meters long, and it will be maybe like 3 meters, 2.5 meters, like, up.
This space here, yeah?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So I was thinking some about rind. I really like the idea about rinds, like,
Okay,
Really, sorry, you really like an idea about what's the last?
Rind, I don't know how you call it, like, not square and not rectangle, like, I mean a rind.
Round, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, like,
sorry.
Yeah, like
Round one.
sort of
Yeah.
and the orbs and stuff like that, yeah.
You can do collection here as well. So yeah, you can do round ones. You can do all sorts. Right, that's decent space. So 2.5 meters from the chair will give you over 1.5 meter up from that shelving thing. So
Yes.
it's decent size to put 40-inch easily up, horizontal. Make sure that obviously whatever you put, you obviously don't replicate the sizes. If you like the round stuff, and I'll tell that, so for everyone, because there's a story out of my real life experience about 5 years ago. A client ordered 2, was it 30 or 40-inch round acrylics exactly the same size. And
Yeah.
they've hanged it on the wall, like you've got here, next to each other. And it looked like a pair of tits. All right. So whatever you hang, just avoid doing the same size when you're looking at round things, because it just literally looks like a pair of boobs. But yeah, you can do vertical, you can do horizontal. It's a decent space for quite a lot of things. As a key image in the middle, depending on how much space you've got to view from, so how much space is behind you at the moment when you're shooting this, I would have a large key piece in the middle to break apart, for example, two collections. What you find, if you're hanging obviously two collections next to each other, you might find 1 in a million is going to come back and say, oh, you know, when I bought collection, I thought it's all included. No, it's not. So you need to make sure that whatever you hang, it's something in the middle separated as well.
All right.
I would go for key piece in the middle, collection on one side, and then you have a vertical. The horizontal, the key piece would be horizontal because that would be the biggest thing you can literally fit in that space. Then have a vertical portrait image over there, and then have collection on one side. Collection, if you like the round stuff, collection of round acrylics or bird spheres, either or, just don't mix them together because it's different product. But yeah, that's pretty much 3 different segments as such. Don't overdo it, but at the same time, it fills that space really, really nicely.
And
So-
just a quick one. So is this a different wall as well? Yeah.
Yeah, this is vis-a-vis, kind of like, you know, next to the other.
Excellent. Yeah.
So it's
Good.
not that big. It will be again 2.5 meters, and it might have like say 3 meters.
Yeah.
Long.
So
You have one big statement piece there, couldn't you?
So you have the statement piece opposite though, Alex. So if you were to get that statement piece opposite, if you were to go for the big thing in the middle, then have the 30 by 40, let's say, vertical portrait, and have a collection of round things, what you're missing is a collection of rectangular things. This is what we need. This is what we need. So it's frames. I either, you know, have, like I mentioned, I don't know, you were listening, the collection of frames. You have 2 20 by 30s, let's say, or whatever works with the collection that you guys do, and then have 2 vertical, 2 horizontal, like puzzled together. And that can be any output, whether it's frame. If you haven't got frames on one side, get the frames on this side, frame prints, but have a collection here, quite nice and tight. The reason why I say, or multi-aperture frame, but a large one. And then we have different idea with Alex what large constitutes.
Well,
because
I
when
mean,
he was
there is a 40 by 31, and then when you get a frame around that, that would fit that space perfectly, I think.
go bigger. I remember, Alex, when you were getting my multi-aperture, and Alex says, so that you're gonna have those 3 images in there, that's 6 by 8. I'm like, Alex, this is tiny. It's tiny. It's not gonna be tiny. It's gonna be fine. Just trust me.
Yeah, but the overall piece was about 60 inches long.
Yeah, I still think we should have gone bigger.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But yeah, you've got decent space here. So you literally, if it's multi-aperture, it would be big in multi-aperture. You'd have decent size, or a collection of rectangular framed frame prints. Just make sure you've got variety there. So if you have, you know, key pieces on one side and you have space on the other, you know, opposite side to have those key pieces, one massive horizontal thing, 130 by 40 portrait. So that solves 2 sizes already. Because if someone comes to your space and say, oh my God, this is too big, they look at 40 by 6, this is too big. And then their eyes naturally going to gravitate to 30 by 40. And they're going to think this is small in comparison. Of course, it's not small. It's decent size. But when you're looking at it next to something that looks gigantic, essentially, it would always appeal to the clients a bit more, because at the back of their head, they're going to look at it and think, oh, this is going to be cheaper. Let's go for the smaller one. It's not smaller. It's just you using perspective in order to sell bigger things. So.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, for those of you that were at the newborn and portrait show, we had a 60-40 Camden tray frame, so the sort of acrylic within the tray frame is one of the centerpiece images on the stand, and we had a 40-30 next to it, and exactly what Maggie says, the 40-30, even though it is a large piece, it looks dwarfed.
Yeah.
The eye plays tricks on you, but a 60-40 Camden tray frame there, and maybe a fine art natural or something like that, 30-40 there, would work really, really well, because it's 2 very contrasting styles as well.
Yeah, essentially what you would put is going to go with those frames as well, because as a portrait, you would tend to probably go a bit more fine art-ish style. So the frame is going to match. With regards to the middle image, you kind of want to go for something that majority of people would find
well, actually,
nice.
Cat Genius sent some images as well. So when we start looking at images, we can go through those and have a look and see which of those you would suggest. So that's great. We've got Cassie.
With regards, I'm just going to with regards to frame as well, your large images are your opportunity to get that massive frame in your studio. Because if you think about it, if you want to have a collection comprises of smaller things. There's no way you're going to get a massive frame on images from collection because it's going to overpower the small image. If you have smaller samples already, or if you're planning on getting something like 20 by 30, you're not going to get the grande frame because it's going to overpower the image inside, especially if it's an image of, for example, 5-6 people, you've lost them. Literally all you see is the frame. So that's the opportunity for you to get a massive frame to make it look substantial, to make it look expensive. Because you remember when you get those key pieces, if you have a choice of getting it unframed or framed, always get it framed. Because people can imagine that without a frame. If it's acrylic or canvas that's framed, and you say to them, okay, this framed one's going to cost you $2,000, but if you get it unframed, it's going to be 1,000. Not exaggerating, it's going to be 1.5. But it's they can imagine that without a frame. But if you say to someone looking at an unframed product, oh, if you add frame, it's going to be extra, £700, they look at it and think, well, it looks good anyway, because it is going to look good, because anything that's big obviously looks like a wow. It's got a wow factor anyway. So always go framed, always go as much as you can spend on it, because people can always downgrade it in their eyes.
Yeah.
They cannot upgrade it. Okay, let's carry on.
Thanks so much. Just before we come to Cassie, sorry, there's been quite a few people asking for mobile photographers and photographers that travel to clients' homes and stuff like that. What would you sort of suggest for samples for those guys?
30 by 40 because it fits in any car.
Big question we get asked all the time.
I do that at the IPS training. I do get that question a lot. There's quite a few people, even when you shoot from studio, occasionally you'll have a situation when you need to travel, or if you shoot outdoor sessions, or if you shoot topical like lavender sessions and things like this, when you do it annually, I know it's a hassle, but I would still bring your products, because you're never going to sell it unless you show it to people. So what you can fit in most cars, it's 30 by 40 and 24 by 36. So those are two different ratios as well. One, I would have image that's horizontal. One, I would have image that's vertical, both of them framed. So those two pieces you bring. As the third part of it, I would have a little box of chevrons, and I wouldn't bring all your chevrons with you. Pick 7 that you like the most, and they're all different. They're different styles. Some are modern, some are clean, classic. Bring those chevrons with you. If you want to go wild and be super prepared, or for example, if you specialize in providing service in people's homes, so you actually do need to be prepared for that from the get-go, get yourself 30 by 40 board, MDF board, and your wooden board, and tape sizes onto that board. So I think you can actually probably buy that board on Amazon. I've seen it somewhere. Someone actually had it ready-made. Tape 30 by 40, tape 24 by 36, tape 20 by 30 and 18 by 20, whatever you want, just to show people how that looks in terms of sizes. But remember, when you go to someone's home, that's your opportunity to grab that piece and literally put it on the wall and show them how small that's going to be. So I wouldn't bring anything as a product. I wouldn't bring anything smaller than 24 by 36, because for a fact, doesn't matter how small the wall is, if you put 20 by 30 on the wall, people will realize it's too small. So it's pointless bringing it with you. Bring something bigger, show it on the wall, and show them how that's going to fill that space. 24 by 36 is your fireplace image. 30 by 40 if they have bigger fireplace. But 30 by 40 is your living room, passable living room image. If you're having a van, you can always bring them 40 by 60. But realistically, 30 by 40 is what you will try to always have with you. 24 by 36 in your other hand. 2 hands, and get yourself some chevrons. Do not overdo the chevrons, even if you're at the studio. So for example, I have, 200 chevrons at the studio. If you come to me as a client, there's no way on earth I'm going to show you all my chevrons. I don't have them on display. I have them boxed, because if we're talking about image that they love, I get them to pick the images that they love first. I know how their home looks like, because I would know that from consultation. So I know if it's modern, if it's rustic, if it's a farmhouse. And then after I have that image picked, and I know about the style of their home, I will only take out the chevrons that will go with that particular image. Because remember, if you have too much choice, you're never going to make a decision. Choice kills a sale. So, don't give them options, even though everyone thinks, oh, options are great. Options are not great. People overthink things and then they say, oh, I need to think about it. Give them 3, 4, 5 chevrons max. And they're always going to find one that they like. And suddenly, if you give them 200, they're not. It's like going to the shop, have too much choice and you end up buying nothing. So yes, so 30 by 40, coming back to your question, 30 by 40, 24 by 36, little box of chevrons. And if you want to have a board, you can have a board with different sizes as well.
We have actually printed a few of those. People have done some quite cool designs.
Have you?
Of them. It looks really wicked, yeah.
Ah.
Right, okay. Thanks for holding on. Cassie, are you there, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi there, how you doing?
Is there 2 Cassies?
No, it's just one Cassie.
Just you, Cassie.
Kasia. It's Kasia and Cassie.
Yeah, sorry.
I'll run off second names if
Kasia, have you got any other questions before we move on?
No, thank you. I'm really happy. At least I know what to do now.
Cool. Thank
and
you.
obviously we'll come back
Thank
to your
you.
images as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Stay online. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Cassie.
Cassie, so I will share the images of Cassie's.
So I have a new studio that I've just spent the last month setting up.
Gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. And it's not open yet. I'm opening at the end of January. So I've already got samples, but I've still got some more wall space. And I kind of just wanted to change at least one of my samples. So I've got a multi-aperture. Have you got the other image, Alex?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Screen sharing has disabled there. 2 seconds.
So basically, I've got a studio because before I was shooting in people's homes or outdoor. Now, obviously, I'm going to be doing studio. And the style's very much light and airy, but at the same time, quite natural feel to it. So I never go for acrylic. So I always go for the birch side of things. And then framing, obviously, to what suits people's homes. But typically, it's more the woods rather than, a white or a black or anything like that. But I, at the very least, this month want to replace the multi-aperture. So that's a 30 by 24. And I do want to show a multi, but I'm going to be introducing sitters and cake smashers. And I'm just wondering what images should I put there? Because that's going to be my TV for the image reveal. People are going to see straight at it. To the right, I've got massive windows that are literally floor to ceiling, and that's my shooting space on the right hand side. So the wall on the left is the green wall where I've got the sofas and the other samples. So that's why it's painted white, because the other side is used for shooting. So the far left is the green wall because I wanted to have some sort of feature, but I couldn't really bring any colour too close to where I'm shooting because it's all the same space.
Lovely. So I really like what you did with the studio. It looks really nice for everyone who takes on rents an office space and makes it look like an office. Don't just have a look at this, because that's how you could make it look, and it looks really nice and homey, even though it's essentially in an office space, but it's done in a really nice way. I love everything about it. I love it. Looks really nice. And also for anyone who's thinking 30 by 40 is massive, that multi-aperture they have 30 by 24, so it's even bigger than standard, and it looks really small on that wall. It's just for everyone to just stop for a second and have a look why you should be going big, because it does look smaller than anything. Nice to have someone having images in line with TV as opposed to too high, because it's my I get literally shakes when I see those images like under the ceiling. This looks really nice. It shows your style, even though they're all different, essentially different products, but at the same time, you have a style in every single one of those products. It shows that it's yours. So it's nice. It ties in really, really nicely together. Cake smashes are the things that you want to have, obviously, as multi-aperture, because you rely on those expressions. It's really hard to pick one image from a cake smash and blow it massive, because first of all, people don't tend to do that because it's almost like a timestamp on it. This is your first birthday, and 2 years down the line, it's going to be like it's not really, it's outdated. You're trying to go for something timeless when you're looking at big images. So what they want to do is have a multi-aperture with regards to the cake smashers, because it shows the expressions. So I would definitely, what you've got here, it works. It works. The only wall that you've got that I would do something with is that octagonal thing that's going on the left-hand side from your sage. It almost stands out like it's not even your image, like what's happening there, like, so it's like a random, I'm just going to throw it here, see what sticks. It is small. So what happens, you've got a collection, so collection is a collection of small things. Then you have a multi-aperture that's overall as a product, it's nice size, but it's small images. And then you have the round image on the left-hand side from multi, what is it, like 25, 30, I don't know, 30 inch. So you're lacking this key image in that space. Obviously the best wall for the key image would be that wall behind the sofa, but it's a shame to remove what you've got, because it works really, really well. I like it. I think it's perfect. It does the job. So you've got newborns covered in there. You've got was it maternity image in that round one? What image was it? It's family, yeah. So you've got family there. You've got family on the right hand side. You will, if you're replacing that family on the right with the cake smash, then you're essentially limiting your family images. So you're getting rid of that. I would replace an image of a family, because if you shoot quite lifestyle-y, outdoorsy, majority of your things are going to gravitate towards family images in one way or the other. Even if you add cake smashes, that's cake smashes rarely become the key of your business unless you literally solely focus on that. If you're shooting families and you enjoy it, you're shooting lifestyle and you enjoy it, I would still advertise that as your service with your wallet. For that octagonal thing, I would put that in somewhere. Are you talking
about the beautiful octagon acrylic there, man?
Yeah, so that I would put it somewhere else, and I'm sure because it's small, it's not going to be hard to move it somewhere else. Don't get rid of it. But I would fill that space with the vertical key piece. Massive, I think what 30 by 40, you'll fit 30 by 40 in there.
30, 40, I was going to say there would be
30 by 40 vertical, portrait of a family, definitely in there. Nice, whitewash frame, and get that octagonal thing somewhere else. Or turn it into collection. Get another two, turn it into collection, because what is this, like 20 inch? Left, octagonal. No, the one that you've got that we're trying to shift somewhere. Yeah, that's the one. This one. Yeah. So I would turn this into collection. If you want to keep it on that wall, and for example, you think, I don't want a key piece, I would add another two.
Right.
That's only if you're fixated of keeping it on that wall. Because what I would do, for me, this space is missing the wow factor, one piece of awesome. One big piece, get it up there, get it as a family image, and move this one somewhere else, wherever you have a bit of space, either as a single piece or add another two to it and make it a collection.
The only thing is with going 40 by 30 is the collection that you can see, that's a 30 by 20 and a 20 by 16s.
Yeah.
It looks weird then having an even bigger one by itself.
It's a different product. This is a collection, so you expect collection to comprise of smaller things,
and
then you have that key piece.
So
yeah, it's a standalone thing. And remember, they're going to be sitting there, so whoever sits on that sofa, it's almost the peripheral vision. You want them to see what you want to sell to them, and that's going to be a big thing.
Okay, so then coming back to the multi, so that needs to be bigger. Is that right?
If it's bigger, it's not going to be where it is currently, because that's about the space that you can fill. If we go any bigger, it's just going to look out of balance with the left-hand side.
So would you keep it as a multi there in that space?
I would keep it pretty much probably the same size. I would consider possibly lighter frame, because everything that you've got is fairly light. And I know I said obviously keep the variety, but this is your style. Your style is fairly fixed. So there's no point throwing different finish on the style that's quite the same, because I assume your cake smashes are going to be in line with what you're shooting.
White flooring, yeah.
So I would probably obviously look at the images that you're going to use as a cake smash images, because if you shoot, I don't know, floral pink things, might be different color. But at the moment, for what you've got in that multi, that frame is almost too dark. So it takes focus off the images inside. Not much too dark, like Wenge would look good. So that slightly darker probably than Wenge. But yeah, that cake smash, literally it's exactly the same size you would be replacing the cake smash multi-aperture with, because it balances the left-hand side. If you're keeping the image on the left.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
If you send the images of the cake smash, we can mock those up, Cassie, and see which ones.
I don't have them yet.
Oh, well, you know, when you do have them.
As soon as I'm open, well, soon, I'll get the images.
Yeah, and we can mock those up and see what sort of frame would suit it. That would be fine. I mean, I'm just, when we've been thinking about products for that wall, a 40-30 Camden acrylic, because it's something quite different to what you have. But it does come in those same sort of Scandi tones, so like the oaks, the walnut, the wenge, you know, that could work really well there, because it would mirror some of the other colours in the sort of featured parts of furniture that you have.
Yeah. So what you can't see on the right-hand side of that, there's a sideboard there. I deliberately didn't show you that because it's from a different supplier, but I'm hoping to swap to you. So basically I've got 2 shelves with matted prints on there. And my box. So I messaged you the other day saying, when are your matted print boxes, folio boxes coming out? Because I want to swap.
Very soon.
So basically that's what that section of the wall is, because I also sell the smaller prints with the boxes. But then there is a section, I should have sent you a photo, but I hadn't really thought about it. On the shooting side, I've got a big cane, kind of like a peacock chair, but not the peacock bit. And that's my shooting side. But I'm wondering, because obviously I have shooting sessions and image reveal sessions, on the wall that is there, which is basically where the octagon is, it's the same size wall. So should I use that wall to put something on there? And I guess when I'm shooting, I'd have to take it down, or should I just leave it as a blank wall?
It will drive you insane. Moving wall. Unless it's one piece, you literally take it on, take it off. Definitely not collection or multi pieces, but it depends on how often do you shoot in the studio. Do you shoot at the studio mostly, or mostly outside, or?
I haven't opened the studio yet, so I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, you know, like when you mentioned over that sideboard on the right, you've got some space and you've got some stuff that's hanging there. Why not turn that octo into a collection over there?
Yeah.
Move it to that space. Add another 2, add a bigger one and smaller one, if the smaller, I don't know, but add a bigger one and smaller one, and have a collection of 3 of those. What you reckon, Alex?
Yeah.
I think that would work really well. I think it's space dependent, because you do have to obviously consider space between the products and then space at the side, so it doesn't look too sort of cramped. So I would measure up.
Fit. There's quite a lot of space there, but I just thought, because I sell the folio boxes, I still wanted to have that in a prominent space that people could envision, if they didn't frame their matted prints, that they could just put them on a picture ledge or whatever they want to do with them and have their folio boxes. But then maybe I could move those shelves to where the octagon is and have the bigger collection.
All right, if you have shelves there, that's different story, because you know there's nothing wrong with having shelves. So if you're keeping folio boxes, yeah, keep the shelves, not a problem. I'm just thinking, like, if there was nothing there, that would hang probably something.
Yeah,
because you need stuff, but you don't want to get it over crammed with stuff, with pieces, because remember, on the other side, if you're not hanging anything behind that peacock chair, then you're just going to have full-blown busy going on. And then with the lighter colors, you kind of want to keep it slightly airy, if that makes sense.
It looks, you know, space-wise, in terms of like filling the space and not overcrowding it, it kind of looks perfect at the moment. And you don't want to bamboozle the customer with too much choice anyway. So you've definitely gone for a very definite style. And I mean, obviously, there's a couple of new products coming out soon, and you know, I know we've talked about a few of them, Cassie. So bear that in mind as well. But the folio boxes, 100%, and I can see Callum's on the Zoom call at the moment as well. We will be working night and day to get those sorted as quickly as possible. There's just a few last minute things to sort out before we can set them live, but they're going to be fantastic, and hopefully we can get a sample in your studio for that as well.
Amazing. So last thing quickly, if that's all right. So where the octagon is, if I was to add 2 more, because I do sell an alternative collection with the 3 sizes, but the octagon there is a 20. So I'm just wondering if I got a bigger one, I don't know if they'll fit. Do you think like a 30 or a 40 would fit with a 20 and like a 12?
Not with a 20. So with a 20, 40 would go there on its own. You're thinking of turning that wall into collection wall as opposed to a feature key piece.
But I do want to get the same 3 as birch circles.
Yeah.
So I could do it with the circles, but it's just at the minute I only sell 12, 16 and 20 of the circles. I should sell bigger, but I haven't yet.
If you put 30 in there, 30 and 20 it's gonna look heavy. There's gonna be a lot on that wall because the width won't let you make it look airy. So I would probably still go. Remember, you've got collection on here and you've got multi on the other side. So it's almost like 2 options for collecting images. If you can't decide on one piece, I would still probably go for one piece here, just so you have some key image in the studio, because otherwise it's all broken apart into smaller visuals as such. So you've got this collection 20 by 30.
Birch sphere would look fantastic there.
You reckon a 40?
One big one.
Yeah.
On there?
Sorry?
Do you think a 40 would fit? A 40 birch circle?
Yeah.
Yeah. If with that being 20, because it's a funny one. The spheres always look smaller than their dimensions because you're literally cutting out the edges, sort of thing. It won't look too crowded there, I don't think. But measure up. If you take a photograph of it, with that 20 in, and send it over to me, we'll get it sized up to scale and see how it would look.
Cool.
It'll be all right because it will leave you about 10 inches on both sides. And remember, if it was full square at 40, then it fills that wall. But because, like Alex said, because it's round, it's only pushing the middle bit as such. So no, 40 will fit. Measure up, but yeah, I think you can get away with it.
So if I did one massive one, then what image would you use for that?
Family, because you're bidding family for multi-aperture.
Well, I've just actually done a really lovely family maternity shoot outdoor. That could work really well, actually.
Perfect.
Could do.
Okay, thank you so much.
Could do. Good luck. Good luck with
Thanks
everything.
again.
Good.
Okay, cheers for that, Cassie. So what we'll do now, we've got 2 more studios to look at. What I'll do is I'll ask Alicia to unmute. And there's just it's quite a simple one here. There's just the one studio that space that you want to fill here. Are you there, Alicia?
I'm here. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
Put your face on.
I haven't been wishing anyone a happy
not
new year.
a
I'm really
chance.
sorry. Happy New Year, everybody.
Face
Right, if we find that folder where I saved your image. And get a new share going. So there's just the one wall in your studio that you are not happy with, is that right?
Yeah, so I think that wall is wasted. So that currently is a 30-inch octagon for size reference. So I think I've measured, and a 40 by 30 is probably the biggest I could put there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the only thing I haven't got. So on the wall to the left, I've got my bubble wall and a multi-app. And on the wall the other side, I've got another multi-app. But I don't have one statement family piece. Like I don't have... Oh, on the wall opposite that, I've got the trio. So I've got 3 24 by 16s in a cake smash. So I don't have a family image on display. The only one I've got is the one in the Orb collection, which is the backlit newborn image, the family heads, if that makes sense.
What's the biggest size in that collection?
So in the bubble wall, I've done, because symmetry is key for my OCD. So my bubble wall is a 30 and 2 20s.
So you've got a different style, so basically a 20 either side of the 30, yeah?
A 20 either side and a 30 in the middle, yeah.
So this is an easy one. That's a super easy one. So this is a 30. First of all, you hung it really high. Why so high? This is a 30. So if you look at it and that's got no frame, what I would go for is 30 by 40 portrait with a massive frame, or at least substantial frame, because with this you have 30 and it's almost like you have a bit of space to fill on both sides.
Yeah.
But any bigger than 30, well, it can overdo it. So I think 30 with a decent frame, portrait, 30 by 40.
The only thing that puts me off with portrait is that I don't shoot portrait orientation very often. So I wouldn't want to.
I was just going to be argumentative with Maggie there actually and say
Go
I
on.
would go for a landscape, because again my OCD would be wanting to tip the top of the frame with the door frame.
So
Yeah.
what, 30 by 40 then?
30-40 still.
Okay.
So 40 inches across, you'd still be able to get away with it. Maybe not like a grande frame, but you know, a normal width frame.
Well,
sort of
I was
thing.
thinking, because I've got the 2 multi-apps, I can sort of explain to parents, and it seems to work. So if they just want a single framed image, I just say, well, they're the frames in the multi-app, but imagine one picture instead of the multi. I don't sell the Camdens because I don't have them on display,
Okay.
nor the vintage or the fine arts, whatever you call them. So I didn't know whether to do like 2 small ones there or just go with one, because that's the door. That image there is dead opposite the entrance door. So as you walk in, that's the first image you see as you walk in.
Oh, right. So it needs to be a nice big.
If you put 2 small in there, I will get on the train and go and take them off, because
If
at
that's
the
what
moment,
it takes to get you down.
do you know what's going to happen at the moment? It's basically you have collection, multi. So you're surrounded by small.
I don't have one staple piece. I don't have one main image. So I know it needs to be.
It's literally, it needs a bigger piece. And think about it, 30 by 40 is not even massive. It just needs something that's one chunk of an image. Definitely.
What would you
got
put
any
there
of
then?
the,
Would you go the Camden acrylic, or would you go for like a fine art natural or something?
You're asking a person who loves acrylics about things, but look what you've got around. What have you got around? Acrylics mainly, fine art?
Yeah, so I've got the trio acrylic set. I've got the orb acrylic set.
Then don't go acrylic, because
multi-apps.
you've got enough acrylics already. So go fine art, because that's going to differentiate what you've got
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
You can always tell somebody that you can have the acrylic in that size.
Yeah.
For a bigger statement piece.
Yeah.
But yeah, 40-30 sovereign frame in there. Fine art. Boom.
And
Magic.
make
Family image.
Alex happy. Do it horizontal. If you should
Family
more
image?
horizontal, yeah, definitely family image. In the biggest piece you guys have, it's always ideally family image if you shoot families, because it's going to make that piece look smaller anyway.
Okay.
So definitely, and if you have any doubts, you wake up tomorrow morning and you think, no, I'm actually going to get 2 or 3, because like it's a lot of an image just to put one. Don't put one image. You need one image. It needs to be a variation to what you have already, because otherwise you just do the same thing again.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. Quick question then, Alex. That radiator is a fan heater radiator. Will it damage what I put on the wall?
Possibly.
Put it under a glass. Can she do fine art under glass then?
That would sort of remove the point. I think if you were doing something like that, we would maybe have to look at reinforcing the back of the product.
Okay.
Does it kick off an awful lot of heat?
Well, I've got it on for
top?
about, yeah, so with that one, I've got it on for about 3 hours before I start shooting, and then I turn it off. But it's quite powerful, and the air comes up rather than forward.
If it's just one product, just take it down while you've got the heat on.
Yeah, okay.
Or buy a new one every
because
January.
Because it's a G-Clear product, you don't want to have direct heat sources on it massively.
Yeah. Okay, worst case scenario, I'll just put like a little floating shelf thing, or I'll just get the husband to move the radiator.
Yeah, do that.
Or swap with what you've got. If you have something large enough, either collection or multi or anything.
No, I don't. That's the biggest thing.
Now I'm thinking even if a number of images, if you have 3, but like a collection of something, just, swap places, because acrylic is going to, be slightly more resilient than fine art natural in there.
That's fine. I can move the radiator. That's fine. So I'll go fine art natural, because I don't have any of those at all, and I want to sell them because they're lovely. So I'll put a big family one there then.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Pleasure.
you very much. So we've got one more studio, I think, before we move on to the images, if that's all right. Let's have a look now. We've got Gail. Is Gail still with us? Oh, quite a lot of people are saying, yeah, put a shelf above the radiator.
Hello, yes, I'm here. Sorry.
Hi, Gail. How you
My
doing?
son's just shouting, I'm scared. I'm scared. Okay. So can you just give me 30 seconds, please?
Absolutely.
Thank
I'll
you.
get your
He's
images.
timed that perfectly. 2 secs.
We can swap. Have we got just one person left, or?
This is the last studio, and then we can sort of go through all the images that people have sent. That should, you know.
For everyone, just, you know, in terms of colors of the wall as well, just have a look at this color, how nice that gray looks with this image, because it's almost pastel, kind of meets pastel. So it just goes, you know, it's image is small itself, but the colors work really, really well. Really nice gray that like makes the image.
That's Farrow and Ball. I think it's called, is it Denines? It's like a bluey grey.
Yeah, that was lovely.
Thanks.
Oh, sorry,
like
after Gail's, I've just been reminded that after Gail's, we do just have one more that Chris has sent from Chocolate Chip as well. So we'll
no pressure, no pressure.
Actually, Gail, are you still there?
Yes, I'm back in the room.
You're back in the room,
Thank
right?
you.
Okay. Very
Right, yeah. Shall I put? I'm in bed. I'm chilling in bed.
In bed with Gail. This is what we get to tonight.
This is what people's Friday nights were made for.
So, right, it's a mess. Because
so, Gail, if I sort of cycle through the images, are you okay just to sort of talk us through what we're looking at? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is where I shoot. So basically, I've only been shooting like 2 years. So it's still in my house. I haven't got a studio. This is the studio as such. It's really my dining room, which I've converted. So it's not as nice as all your guys. I've got to declutter a lot. I know I have. And I've got all the Christmas presents on the floor as well in the picture, which is really classy. But yeah, so there you go. There's some towels, there's some washing and some yeah, Christmas presents on the floor. The clock shouldn't even be there.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, I've got some Christmas presents on the floor.
So probably, I don't know. Do you think put anything in that bit where I shoot?
Take stuff out first. Jesus, woman, just take stuff out.
Declutter. Look at that.
Yes.
Right, people don't come round and it looks like this. Well, let me just. I've just literally taken that photo now and gone, right, okay, I may as well take advantage of this. So yeah, I do need to sell some props, definitely.
Get storage. You know those recess spaces you have on the left and on the right hand side of the chimney breast thing. Get a space like built-in storage. I know it's an investment, but it will literally get all the crap inside, because it's nothing worse. You know, if you come to space, even if during a shoot you have 1/3 of this, it just looks messy. And I know it's not from experience, because my studio looks like this. So you're trying to avoid mess if you can, because it cheapens the experience. So you can put all the wall art you want if you have that mess around, and the rainbow boxes and stuff. It's just, you know, it's an eyesore. Get it boxed, get it hidden.
Okay. All that on the left is
lovely paneling as well. If you had some inbuilt shelving units, cupboard units and stuff like that, that would work fantastic, because the paneling looks lovely.
Yeah.
So is this like your the sort of display area, yeah?
Yeah, it's quiet, Dylan, please. Sorry. Yeah, it's not being displayed properly at the moment. You've got some, it's a conservatory, so it's all glass. I've got 2 pieces of wall bits there where the backdrops are there, and then on the other side, like honestly, it's not like this when people come round, honestly, really isn't.
No, and I mean, Rachel's just commented on there as well, that space to the right of the door, that's perfect for storage space.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I've got those there, but I'm going to get some more samples, but I haven't really got much. No, I won't, Dylan. Haven't really got anywhere to put it, have I? Let's be honest.
Well, if you tidy up some space, you'll have this, what we're seeing right now. You have that panel, so you can put something horizontal here, because essentially you can't put anything over, you know, between the wall and the wooden bit, because it's just it's just not going to work. But horizontal on that wood, could you nail something to that? You know,
Yeah.
and I would do collection, because you can't put anything massive because it's just going to be too low, too close to the radiator. Do a horizontal collection in white frames, just to tie in with the color of the wall.
Similar to the 3 that we saw in Cassie's studio, yeah?
Yeah, something like that. That would be literally perfect. But it's just a question, are your images more darker or lighter?
I tend to shoot quite dark. I'm quite colourful. So I'm still trying to find my style a little bit, if I'm honest. I'm playing around and still, I haven't got a definitive style yet. So yeah, I would say they tend to be more darker than lighter.
If you were to wake up this time next year or 2 years from now and still think that you shoot a lot of dark things, I would probably paint that wall above something darker as well, and have those samples darker, because if you have white wall and light color backdrop, dark images, what tends to happen with samples, they tend to look like the gateway to hell, right? Square of dark and surrounded by light, it's a gateway to hell. So you're trying to make sure that always dark images go on featured walls. So I always say that to clients when they're looking at getting image for their home, if it's something black and white and it's mainly black, I always say, have you got a featured wall? Have you got any navy walls, any green walls, anything like this? Because it's going to look amazing on that wall. If you put it on a white wall or magnolia, it's a gateway to hell.
Yeah.
In terms of framing, I would definitely, if you're keeping those panels, have something that's framed, because it then ties in with the panels as well. So it's almost like an extension of your backdrop for those samples.
Something like the Faro frame, because it's kind of stepped, it would almost match with it really well.
It's little things, but it makes a difference if you actually kind of consider your surrounding and then match the product to go with it, whether it's like deeper aperture, if it's frame print, or frame to match what you've got at the back. It's just gonna look really nice. But tidy this thing.
I'm gonna tidy. Yes, miss. I've been told off.
Get a skip.
I don't even know how.
Boy, don't tell my mother off.
Tell mom to burn it. Burn it. Don't you burn it.
I know. I didn't even realise that on the radio.
We're recording this. If her house.
I know.
Oh my god. Maggie,
Lots of photographers are going to see this.
Maggie's career is gone in with the smoke. You tell someone to burn the house.
I'm taking it back. Career's gone as well.
So has that helped, Gail?
That's really helpful. Thank you very much. I'll just go and cringe now in the corner at the state of my house. But
oh no, I mean, like you say, I think you know what you need to do in terms of like just clear the space. It's Christmas. Everyone's house looks a bit upside down, sort of thing. And if you're not shooting at the moment, my office upstairs is an absolute state, because it's the one part of the house where like guests and people.
That's it. It's a dumping ground.
Everything does end up there, so I wouldn't worry about it. But that space to the side is perfect for storage, which will free up so much of the floor space there.
Thank you. I've got some storage as well, which I could bung there, so I'm going to do that. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Lovely to speak to you.
We'll
just quickly go to video from Chris, Chocolate Chip. Let's have a look. Chris, are you there, mate?
He's here. How we doing, Chris? Unmute yourself. 2021.
Hello. How you doing, man? You okay?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah. So I've been listening. I've just been sat here loading receipts into QuickBooks. So I've been getting last minute bits done. But yeah, you okay?
All good.
All good. Yeah, no, good.
Really good. Yeah, I've been sat here on for my photo stream trying to dig out some photos. I can't find any photos, so the video was the best I could do, I'm afraid.
So, I mean, this is breaking new ground, and you are challenging my sort of technical expertise here. We will share the video, and I'm just going to say that with utmost confidence, to be honest. We're going to share the video.
Obviously, you can replay it and kind of pause it as we go through if you want to. It's just like a little mini tour of the viewing area. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to share the video, Chris. It's not letting us. If you bear with us 2 seconds, I'll try and open it in a different program. It's opened in Media Player and it won't share on Zoom.
You're not on a Windows laptop, are you?
Of course I am, mate.
There's always one. There's always one. Trust Chris to bring all the kerfuffle.
I trusted you, and you're on a Windows laptop.
You know what? Ever since Apple forced me to have a YouTube album on my iPod, I haven't bought any Apple product. And I
You gave into your emotions, mate. That's what it was. You didn't just stick with it and think from the head. That's
look, figured it out. It's fine.
There we go.
So this is, well, you talk us through it.
Yeah. So basically, I've got a lot more studio space, which unfortunately I can't show you because I've not got any footage. But this is my little viewing area. So I've got sort of like a series of different wall art. I've got fine arts. I've got a small Camden tray. I've got multi-apps. And then I've got like a set of acrylics and then like a satin acrylic in a frame. It is very much kind of cobbled together based off sample sales over the Januaries. And this sort of, the way I used to do it was I used to sell loads of fine art frames, like 10 to 1 over everything else. And then, but at the time, I probably only had about 3 wall arts. Then since I got the multi-apps, I sell a lot. The landscape multi-aperture is the one I sell the most of. I sell probably more of the 40-30 ones. Is that the size?
Yeah.
I sell more of them than the smaller ones. So I do generally tend to sell bigger ones, especially since I started using ProSelect for the mock-ups, because people, the biggest hiccup was, oh, I think that's going to be too big for the wall. But once I obviously started showing people it wasn't, I sell a lot more of them. I've not sold loads of the acrylics. The reason I got the acrylics was I had a few people coming in saying, oh, the fine arts, my house is a bit too modern for the fine arts, so I want something a bit more modern. So I got the acrylics, but in truth, those people just tend to get the multi-apertures. So I don't know. I'm just kind of a bit like, I mean, I very rarely, I've got the canvas up there with the dogs on it, but I don't really sell any canvas tray frame ever. I sell a few of the satin acrylics framed, but I don't really ever sell the normal acrylics since I got the satin acrylics, because everyone just looks at them and says, well, I'd rather get the satin one. But like I said, I sell a lot more multi-apertures than anything else now. And I've sold a few Camden tray frames, but I just kind of, I don't know, I'm just kind of, I mean, I'm still selling the wall art, but I'm lost in this kind of identity limbo where I've not, do you know what I mean? I've not really got I don't know.
Direction.
You were talking before about a certain style of product to match. I don't know. I've never really given a thought, to be honest with you. And I'm still selling stuff. It's fine, but I could probably be doing better. So it's kind of, yeah, I just thought I'd see what you thought.
What sessions do you shoot?
Newborn.
Is it mainly only newborn? Do you shoot like sitters, cake smashers?
No, never done a cake smash. I've never done a sitter session, really. I mean, when you're talking sitter sessions, like how old are you talking for the band?
7 months, 8 months.
No, never really done them. I did a few older, kind of 4 or 5 months when we came out of lockdown, just because people still wanted to come in, even though they had the babies and they were a bit older. But I don't really have I don't know. They're a bit difficult at that age because they don't really sit.
Oh, they're not. You need to do my training. I'll literally lead you into all this money channel of thing. Because what's happening, you've got quite a lot of newborns here. Obviously, if you shoot newborns, you shoot newborns. But then you're kind of letting that client go. And you could get hold of that client. And 7-8 months is the easiest age to shoot. The easiest. It's the fastest. It's like the fast money kind of thing.
I literally, my client in today said, oh, do you do like cake smashers? And I was like, no. So kind of like, but yeah, I'm well aware of that. And it's one of them things where I've always just been like, all right, but you're right, I am losing them. And yeah,
it's an investment. I mean, cake smashers are different. So sitter for me, they tend to be quite timeless. I can shoot the full sitter session on seamless paper if I'm asked, use some different outfits and things like this, but I don't particularly prop it up as such. Cake smashers is a full investment on completely different genres because you need the props, you need stuff, we need cake trays and all sorts. So if you're committing, you are committing financially as well. But sitters, I think you could do. And with regards to cake smashes, a lot of people these days, they don't want a cake smash as such, but they want a milestone session, especially, you know, high-end clients. They're no longer interested in doing this social pressure. I want cake smash because someone down the road's got cake smash. It's more like, you know, mid-level client. The high-end client, you will still quite often find that they want milestone session without a smash, without a splash. They're just natural, you know, family portrait. Yeah. I would definitely venture into this, and then it gives you variety in terms of images as well, because it's obviously quite a lot of new ones. But in terms of style, remember, I actually written a blog about style. So if you dig deeper, you can find about my opinions on style. So if someone's got a particular style, like, you know, one of the people before you, so you've got style. So Susie Mitchell's got style, you know, she shoots this way. You go to certain people for style, for the type of photography that they do. It doesn't mean that everyone should have a fixed style. It's not a thing that needs to be happening, because remember, we are essentially the channel. Our clients are coming to us to service them, and they don't come saying, oh, I want everything white and green. They want something particular way. And when you do a consultation, you'll find out what it is that they want. And using your skills, you deliver to what they want, not injecting our perception of what they want onto them. So that's my opinion on style. I would say I don't have particular style. My style is what my clients want me to shoot. If they come to me and say, oh, Maggie, I want the whole session in red, no, not a problem. We'll shoot session in red because this is what you want. I have the skills, I have the gear to make this thing happen. So don't get fixated on style as such. But what you've got here is too many options. Okay. So it's too many options. So what happens? People don't know which way to go, and they get overloaded. So things that don't work in terms of products that you never sell, you might not sell them for various reasons. You might not sell them because they're not in line with your target client, but you might also not sell them because you personally, you don't even think about it, but you don't like the product. Mm-hmm. So you look at the product and think, not super excited about it. Maybe it's the image that you use, maybe it's the actual product that you don't love. So what happens is you're not gonna sprinkle that love onto your client if you don't love it yourself. And what happens then, you physically wasted 20 by 30 of your wall on something that is not going to bring you money. So you genuinely need to be honest with yourself, look around and think, what have I not sold in the last year or 2 years? If it's something that you've not sold as a product, get it off the wall, you know, contact clients, sell it half price, and fill it with something that potentially could bring you money. It doesn't have to be 50 different types of products that you're selling. You don't have to sell everything. Remember, you don't have to provide everything, but you provide things that sell well. If you were to come to my space, I've got 20, 30 samples on the walls, like probably 20 now, so everything's covered with shelves. But if you look at what I've got, it narrows it down. I only have acrylics. I have one frame print and I have one frame canvas, but it's essentially all acrylics. It's different images in acrylics, but it's all acrylics. Because over the years, I figured out that that's the product that resonates with my clients. So you look at what resonates with your clients and you strip it back to that product. Not only that product, but majority of the things they would display would be in one way or the other that product, whether it's, you know, frame acrylic, unframed acrylic, or if you sell multi-apertures, traditional, less traditional, lighter color, darker color, you know, 3-image multi-aperture, 5-image multi-aperture. So focus on the things that bring you money, because you don't have to offer everything to everyone. Does that make sense?
I think historically, when you look back through your orders, Chris, it is predominantly fine art naturals, multi-apertures, that sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, it works with your work, it works with your style as well, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, for the longest time, you can't if you play the video, can you play the video for a second, Alex? We'll be prepared to pause.
Let's go from the start.
Right. There's just, I want to just, as it pulls around to the multi-apps, just right, pause. Okay, so you see the one in the square multi-aperture, sort of with the black frame, and it's got the vintage lens in the middle. So for the longest time, at that one there, I just had that. That's all I had. And then once I got the panoramic and the landscape, literally like everything, 9 out of 10 orders are multi-apps. And it was interesting what you were saying before about chevrons, how in the gap that's between the unit as you move around, I need to cover it up.
You have like 7 or something.
Yeah, there. So that gap there with the tables and stuff, I need to cover that up. It's on my to-do list. But I was going to put chevrons on. I put doors on and put chevrons on. But actually, at the moment, what I do is I have the chevrons stored away, and I thought they'd be better on display until what you said earlier about not having them on display. And I was listening to that before. I've got obviously a few up there. They're just for the tray frames. But I think, like I say, everyone comes in, and it's partly because I genuinely love the multi-app pictures and I love the fine art. So, like you say, it's probably subconsciously people are picking up on that, and because I'm passionate about it and I can sell them all day long, they're going down that route. So you're right. I mean, like the canvas with the dogs, I can't remember why I got that printed up. I can't tell
Dogs are cute, man.
I mean, it's cute and people love it, but I never sell a canvas tray frame. So it's one of them things where I couldn't even tell you last time I sold one. So you're right. I need to yank it off the wall.
But is it the case of the product, or is it the case of people associate that product automatically with dogs, and maybe you shoot very little dogs, so percentage wise you get confused thinking that you don't sell it?
The theory it probably originally was put it up so we could maybe do some pet shoots, but we don't ever really do any pet shoots. We occasionally, but it's usually just done through word of mouth or people asking, like clients who already know us. I don't think that canvas being up there makes, you were talking before about put on the wall what you want them to see next, like what, sitter sessions or whatever. That would make more sense. And I think that was the theory with the pet shoots, wedding clients who maybe don't want kids, because we were saying actually a lot of our wedding clients have dogs. So that was probably the theory. But since COVID, obviously they've not been coming to the studio. Like we've just been doing everything virtually, like the wedding clients. Yeah. So it's one of them things where it's not really making a difference. So like you say, it probably just needs a review. But what I didn't want to do is what I do every January when Alex messages me and he says, "Oh, we've got a really cool new product." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I'll have one." And then literally kind of that's why the wall's a bit of a mishmash, because it's just products that Alex has gone, "Yeah,
thanks, man. Thanks for throwing it.
Yeah, all right, man. I thought
it's all your fault.
But like you say, I don't want to go and just do the same thing without having a bit more of a proper thought about it and stuff like that. So I'll drop you a message, Maggie, and we'll sort it out. But yeah. It makes sense, like you say. It is.
I mean, personally, an elegance frame or a ladder triptych would look great, mate.
Oh, another one now, is it, Alex? Going on. Yeah. No, you're right though. But what I was actually suggest, Alex, I know we were on about meeting up next Tuesday. I don't know if you have time to come to the studio. You might be able to kind of,
absolutely
do the meeting at the studio, and that will make more sense. So yeah,
definitely.
One thing I would say, because you said you sell quite a few of those 32 by 40. So essentially, that's one of the bigger things you've got there.
Yes.
So what does that tell you? Your clients are okay with bigger ones. So if you remove one of those that takes space and don't bring you money, if you remove the dogs, you essentially have space to put portrait image that is bigger. You can actually get something bigger. So if you're selling that quite a lot, there's space to push size wise. So you can push for something. I know it's a small space, but you could replace 2 images with one, and suddenly it gives you an option to sell something a bit more substantial.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Awesome.
No worries.
Thank you very much, mate.
Cute dogs. I love them.
Yeah. I was only joking, Alex. I love you. I'm just. Yeah.
Okie dokie. So that's the last of the studios for now. We're just going to go through the sort of images that people have sent. They're sort of struggling with what sample product was going to best suit these. Maggie, are you okay? Do you want a 5-minute break or anything?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm a machine.
You're well stocked there.
I am.
So we'll start off with Rebecca. Are you online still, Rebecca? Rebecca Ray. She might not be. Yeah, she is. I'll ask her to unmute.
Hiya.
Hello.
Hi. I'm
How's it
here.
going?
All right. I've got a child stuck to my boob, but apart from that, yeah, fine.
Good. So you've already sent through the images. I'm just going to.
I have.
So if basically what we're going to do is, if I just cycle through them, because there's a lot of people. Send quite a lot of images in, so just to make sure it's fair, what we'll do is we'll work through them, and just so we've got a basic idea. And if Maggie, if you're all right, just to make a couple of suggestions, if that's okay. So
I can make suggestions. You'll be more specific in terms of the actual names of the frames.
Oh, I'm going to go for the products. Yeah. So there's a combination of sort of outdoor and studio work. Is that right, Becky?
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
So if you could just sort of talk us through the sort of the space that you have, what are you looking to sort of fill it for? Is it just a general refresh, or is it something that you're looking at?
Yeah, there's quite a few things that I've got in the studio at the minute that just nobody chooses. I don't know whether it's like what Maggie says, if I don't love it, I'm probably not pushing it. So yeah, I do like a range of different styles. So I do sort of location, family, portraits. I've just started doing boudoir, which is that photo there, and then like the normal maternity, newborn, cake smash, sitters, that sort of thing. So yeah, I genuinely want a refresh and something that I just think would go with what I've got. I've got like the garden studio. So the walls in there that have got the framed photos on are the 18% grey. So
good girl.
I've already, yeah. So I've already got that. So yeah, it's just what's going to go. Really, I want my clients tend to go for the fine art or the multi apertures.
Yeah.
And the box frames. They seem to be the most popular at the minute. And then there's the floating tray frame, I think it is.
Frame,
yeah. Sold a few of them. So it's just something. Thanks, Magdalena. So yeah, just really just what's going to go with those sort of styles, because they're sort of the ones that really the kind of styles that I shoot towards, those sort of things.
Yeah.
I would say totally different products, because I don't know if does everyone have it when you see an image, you suddenly see the product straight away through that image. So I look at your images and totally different products. So for example, the maternity, the white shot maternity with mom and the girl, because you have a bit of reflection on the floor. You have everything's essentially light. It's minimalistic. It's modern. It's acrylic for me. It's acrylic and white. It's literally anything that you do with texture, whether it's canvas or fine art here, is just going to take away that crispiness of that image.
Okay.
It needs to be light. It needs to be modern. It's a modern image. You know, you shot it clean. You've got those flowers, but even the flowers, the shape underneath is modern. Everything's quite clean lines. So you stick to clean lines with this. Acrylic, definitely. You can have it framed. It's going to look nice as unframed as well. So either way, you can do either of those. It's going to look awesome.
I mean, yeah, unframed acrylic, or like Maggie said, Camden tray frame, but go for some. Either the obvious choice would be to go for a white frame, but I actually think something like the oak or the walnut would really set that off as well, especially against the 80% grey that you've got in the background, and because it's something that people are putting in their homes at the moment. But like she says, unframed acrylic, that would be beautiful as well. Really.
So I've got an unframed acrylic already in the studio. So, but that was for a location maternity. So it's like maybe a framed acrylic.
Yeah. Get it framed. If you have unframed already, get it framed in something that's darker gray, not dark gray, but darker gray than that wall there, because that's going to be that differentiation between your wall, their wall in the image, and it's going to set it apart.
Right.
Or brown, it's like Alex said, just nice warm tone, so it's going to go with skin tone. The only thing for me, if you go for brown, obviously it takes away from the focus on the skin and the person in the image. If you go for gray, they stand out like the only.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Remove the nipple, remove the crotch bit, darken the crotch. And for the future, and obviously not with this image, but if you should, don't chop through that knee, because that just that's my eyes.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's fine art, natural for me, with the brown frame to tie in with her hair.
Okay. Yeah.
Alex, what's your vote?
Well, sovereign walnut, or possibly the thatch.
Yeah.
The thatch brown. I know if Rachel's still on, she's got some really beautiful thatch frames in the brown, which really set that off. And it just picks up little accent colours like that.
Okay.
Something like that would work really well. Or, the dark grey sovereign, I think, could actually work quite well with that.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's darker than going back to what Maggie said before, it's darker than the background.
Yeah.
Right.
before you
Okay.
print it, if you're printing that one, darken
Yeah.
her belly, because what were you trying to do? Even though she's pregnant and you're focusing on pregnancy, you've got like hot highlights there, and
Okay.
whatever the state of a woman, you still want to focus on her face first. So you kind of want to, you know, lift those shadows from the other eye and darken that belly a touch. So it's going to
Okay.
kind of change the focus a bit.
All right then. Yeah, good advice.
And then with the rest of them, I mean, there's the sort of the sitters and the newborns, there's similar tones and stuff like that. So traditional, you know, I always feel bad saying traditional frame prints, but it is just frame prints. You know, it is a tried and tested method of displaying an image. It's been around for centuries because it works, kind of thing. So it doesn't matter what frame you're going with, as long as you're finding the right tones and stuff like that within there, it's going to work really well. But something like this one here, I don't know about you, Maggie, but again, an unframed product would work just as well as a framed with this one.
For me, if I was to print it, I wouldn't print it, by the way, because there are dead flowers there. Dead flowers with the baby. Just don't put dead flowers with the baby.
Okay.
But if I was to print it, I would tie it in with those black elements you had in your image with the wood. You've got quite a bit of contrast in that wood. You've got black lines or darker lines. So I would probably go for something anthracite charcoal and a very thin frame. And that thin frame would, for me, would tie it in with those lines in wood.
Okay. Yeah.
Like a charcoal
yeah.
sandy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That's cool.
And again, something like that, a nice brown walnut frame or something, again, to pick up those colours.
Sovereign Grande with brown, that brown
Sovereign
warm.
Grande, Scandi, you know, something, or the brown thatch, you know, all of those would work really well with that.
And this one I would
the
print
Sovereign Grande
large.
is just fun to say. That's the problem.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They're happy with this big.
And then what about that last one, Maggie? What do you think?
Metallic. I want something metallic. Do you have something metallic?
I don't have anything metallic. Yeah.
Alex, have you got something metallic?
Yeah, we got metallic. Yeah.
I would go metallic for this, just to tie in with what she's wearing, because you've got that natural shine. It's almost like a metallic shine, darker.
The Manhattan frames would be really good with this. I mean, the Manhattan frames work beautifully with food images. I know John Elizabeth, for example, does masses of the sort of pewter and the silver, the cotton and the work great with the Manhattan frames and with boudoir images like that. Like you say, Maggie, to pick out the sort of sheen within the negligee, that would work really well. Just going to go quickly back to the outdoor image there as well. Yeah. For me, Scandi frame, if you were going to go for a framed, would be perfect for that. If you wanted to go fine art or canvas, the textures in the jumper and the textures in the background, I think would work really well with it as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Natural wood.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So someone mentioned the round to do birch. Was it round in chat with the brothers? Just look at the image when you guys think about round, because round obviously chops quite a lot of image, and we haven't got space to chop here. It would be a lot of photoshopping. They would be really, really close. So obviously you would lose the quality of the image as much as add a lot of work for yourself, and no one wants a lot of work. So
I mean, that's an important point when you're looking for certain products. If you've fallen in love with the product, so you go and you're leading with the product rather than the image, shoot for that product and be sort of considered and how that's going to look. Like Maggie says, if you're shooting for a circle, you're going to have to almost imagine that it's in a square crop, and you're going to need all that extra at the bottom and the top to make it work. Same with the multi-aperture. You need it. I noticed in one of the chats, someone was saying, would you have images from different shoots in a multi-aperture? And I never would. It would always have to be from the same shoot and try and keep the colors consistent as well.
Yeah.
Excellent. Right. Thank you very much, Rebecca.
Oh, thank you. Really appreciate that.
Cheers. Right. Next we have, if I can find the file again.
So always think about it. Whatever frame you pick, that frame is supposed to complement it, never overwhelm it. If you look at the frame and an image and you think the frame is the first thing you see, it's a wrong frame. It either needs to be smaller or more subtle of a color, just to complement it, add to it, make it look more substantial and make it look a bit more expensive. but not overwhelm in terms of, you know, taking away from the models, because we essentially, we're displaying it to focus on whoever we photograph first.
Brilliant. Okay, Harriet, are you there, Harriet? Harriet Moss.
Harriet.
Hi, sorry.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm on my booster seat.
I did think that.
So, if I can get this screen share to work, this is every now and again it's just dropping out the screen share, so I do apologize. So, it's just the one image that you're sort of stumped on, isn't it? You're kind of looking for a bit of advice on what to go for this, yeah?
Yeah, so I'm kind of swaying towards a square because I've not got many squares frames in the studio. So I will crop it down to a square, I think, potentially.
Nah.
I was just going to say you've broke the hearts of everyone that's ever done like the judges training there, because you've actually managed to keep the elbows in, you've kept the ears in, you've got everything in that you need to, and then you're like, oh, I'll crop it down. Somewhere Terry Jones is like in floods of tears.
No. It's just because you haven't got it in the studio. Don't force the image. This is not the image for square. This is, you know, it's perfectly cropped as it is. Thin, really thin black frame. Whether, you know, it's a tray, because you haven't got tray. You've got this massive acrylic, but is that unframed? That's unframed, isn't it?
Yeah, that's framed.
Is it framed? Yeah. So just whatever that color of the frame you've got for that one, I would go different for here. Personally, I would go really thin black frame. Anything thick, anything bigger just takes away from, you know, from the focus. And you already have quite a lot going on, even though you have a face and it's a close-up and it's, you know, it's a young child. You would think you focus on her face, but because of the makeup, there's a lot of things going on, so you don't want to add any more with the frame. Personally, I would just go really thin, tray or floating, however you want to finish, but not a lot of it.
I mean, for really minimalist, the Illumi frame would be ideal for that in that case. So very like 5mm thick aluminium frame, but it's got a wood grain finish, so it doesn't look too sort of harsh and sort of modern sort of looking. So I think it would suit that perfectly. Yeah. And then with like the acrylic finish and stuff, I think that would look beautiful. It'd be really, really vibrant.
Amazing.
The problem is she's already got an acrylic. So apart from acrylic, what else would you do, Alex? Because that is literally acrylic image. That is acrylic image for everyone. Clean, simple, modern, you know, it's an acrylic image.
I mean, the tones in the background is stunning. It's really, really difficult not to get that with banding on, but you've done it beautifully. So it would be a really, really good acrylic image. If you weren't going to go for that, then like you're saying, if you're looking for a minimalist finish, probably without a mount, the fine art would work well, but I think it would distract too much. I think have another acrylic option, because you've got some other finishes in the studio. It's not just acrylic you have there, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not. Would you shoot me if I went for an acrylic orb in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although, to be honest, you think that it's going to tie in with the hair things, you know, I've got the hair bubbles going on, it's all round, and round is good. But if you were to go for round on here, you're adding space, so it's less focus on hair. And there's no reason to have less focus on hair. This is a really good crop.
Okay.
What happens when people overthink things? This is good. Sometimes, you know, just leave it as it is.
There would be like this sort of excess space either side. And you'd lose the elbows.
Yeah, I work hard on the elbows.
Yeah, it's good. It's good as it is.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks very much. Right. We've got. Let's have a look. Rachel. Is Rachel Lynch still with us?
Yes, I am.
Oh, hello.
Sorry, I've been eating peanuts, so I put my video off.
All right, okay.
Nobody needs to be seeing that.
Right, I'll just get that new share up.
Also, I just sent you a direct message, but I meant to put it in the group chat. But I thought
Hey.
for that awesome photo that was just up, that the aluminium frame in the Florentine black might work.
Yeah, it would. I mean, if you went
It's
without
obviously
mounts,
really
I think it
minimalist.
would work really well. Yeah.
Yeah. Tying with those diamonds with the shiny thing. So you need kind of, you couldn't get away with something shiny around. If it's metallic, would look really, really nice. Nice crop.
Thanks.
Photoshop her pants out. You're lazy. Lazy. Photoshop
She
those
didn't
pants.
have pants on. I don't think.
Something on. She's got pants on. Of course she
Oh,
does.
maybe she did actually. Maybe she was the one that wouldn't take her knickers off. Most of them do.
Take her knickers off for her. Do her a favor.
You can't do that to people, Maggie.
That's not what Natasha said when I came to her session. That's the first sentence she said to me when I walked in. Take your knickers off. I'm not photoshopping this. So, oh, this is an acrylic image. That's nice, clean. That would look amazing, shiny. Nice.
It's just so different to everything else that I've got in the studio.
Yeah.
And I don't have any wrapped images either. So I thought just to have something that was different to everything else that I've got that's newborn.
Oh, looks lovely. You just need to look at what you've got in terms of framing, because that's something you can get away with without a frame. But obviously with a frame, if you were to do a dark brown wooden frame to tie in with that floor, it would look beautiful. It would finish it off really, really nicely.
I've got the thatch frame already as a multi.
Yeah.
So I thought if I had that as something else next to the thatch, because that would also work as an alternative.
Yeah.
That they could sort of see it side by side, and then
the wenge Camden tray, which is the darker wood. I think that
because Edinburgh's got such a mix of architecture. So I don't have, like you were saying earlier, Maggie, that the vast majority of your clients come from new builds.
Yeah.
In Edinburgh, there's just no majority. There's just such a massive difference. We've got new builds. We've got like my house is a 50s cottage style house. I've got clients that come from new build mansions that are like £2 million mansions that are built last year, or Georgian townhouses, and like literally everything in between. So there's not really a standard. So I need to have a bit of a mix. And I do have a bit of a mix, but I feel like I've got too many canvases and I want to get rid of those and bring in some other options.
Yeah, canvas it's a tough one, because obviously it's been something popular ages ago, and some people want to match to the canvas that they have, but as a product, I don't have a single canvas that's unframed on display. The reason for it is it just looks like a cheaper product. So if for anyone who's got canvas, consider having it framed as opposed to unframed, because obviously clients are paying premium, and if you show product that they can go and see something similar down the road, it just cheapens the product. You put a frame on canvas, and genuinely canvas can look beautiful with the right frame. It's a nice product. It just looks like a painting. It's just for the unframed canvases. It's an eyesore.
I just think it would be a bit of a shame to put this on a canvas, to be honest.
No, this one.
Yeah. Oh no, I wouldn't put that on a canvas.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. There's
the only canvas that I've still got in the studio is the framed canvas. The rest have all been taken out.
Yeah, I would personally, that would be 24, 36. Actually, I know you have enough walls so you can go bigger, but at least 24 by 36. Thin brown frame. You can have it floating and have like a tray frame, but brown to tie in with this wood and acrylic. That's gonna set those colors off nicely. Ooh, very nice.
And you've already cropped that in a circle?
I did.
So
don't ask me how I did it, because I can't actually remember. I basically looked at lots of online tutorials, and it was a lot of trial and error.
Solid colors, sharp brush.
I honestly can't remember, Maggie. I was frankly traumatized by the end of it.
That looks nice. Do you know, like, it looks nice as kind of rectangular thing now with the round in the middle. But now that's mint as it is. Really, really nice round shape.
And did you have a preference on like sort of birch sphere or acrylic sphere, Rach?
Well, I don't have any spheres at the moment. I've got an octagon, and I've got a 30-inch alumi frame with the, I want to say birch edge. Is it birch edge?
Oh, the maple.
Maple, sorry, the maple edging.
I know the one with the
so I've got that, and then I've got a big octagon, which I think is the 40-inch.
Yeah.
But I don't have a sphere. So I was debating that as a sphere, but I don't know if it would lose a little bit of the punch without having the black. Because the wall that it would be on is mid-grey. It's quite a pale mid-grey. It's like you say, Maggie, you're 18% grey. So I just don't know if it would have as much impact without the black.
I like it with a black, but then, you know, you can have it without a black as an acrylic as well. The reason why I would go acrylic over birch for this one in particular, just because it's a clean image. For birch, it's almost like aerial newborn kind of, you know, textures, more warmer image for a warmer finish. This is a clean, modern finish for a clean, modern product.
Yeah, I think if I was going to do the birch, I'd probably do like a baby and a prop with like woody tones and stuff.
Yeah, no, it would look good. Would look good.
Awesome.
Yeah. Good bum. Good bum.
I know. She's got she was really nervous when she came in, and then when she got like literally naked, I was like, girl, your ass is banging.
Last time I said that to a client, they said
a pint on that ass. Her body was incredible. Like she does weights and stuff. She's just got the most insane body.
Good body. Yeah, I said that to a client, and they said, "Oh, I've got ass implants." I'm like, my God, I didn't know it was a thing. Like, but yeah, it's like literally.
So, sorry, you've had someone with ass
not
implants
me.
in, yeah?
Not me. That was a client. I posed
No,
there.
not you. I'm saying a client of yours.
Oh yeah, she did. She had she had implants everywhere, but the bum was just on point, and she was heavily pregnant, and her bum just looked epic. And I just said, "Look, this is a good bum." And she said, "Oh, thanks. I had implants." So,
Maggie, you've got me questioning it now because she is an I can't say the word. Aesthetician.
Esthetician.
One of the folk that does like Botox and fillers and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So maybe she's just got a ton of fillers in that ass, and it's not actually gym. Who knows?
I don't think you can do ass fillers, but well, this is for a totally different life. Oh yeah, no, she looks good. I think acrylic would do it justice, definitely. Possibly, if I was to edit that a bit further, I would get some highlights in her face, because you have quite a flat conversion here. So just to give it a bit of punch.
What, on cheekbones and stuff.
Yeah. So where would you've obviously been in my studio, Maggie, so where would you put that? Because as I said, all the canvases.
So in general, for maternity images as well. So remember, do not waste main space for maternity. Your main space where people are sitting, where they appreciate things, you know, with a bit of distance, your big, you know, wow piece, aim it for maternity, for family. Maternity image is more of a filler for a space for me. So I would probably look at 30-inch somewhere, you know, like off the center, just somewhere.
So it doesn't need to be next to other acrylics or anything. It can be just
do it next to other acrylics. It's just I wouldn't have this as a centerpiece of my studio. I would literally have it as, you know.
I don't have any maternity samples in the studio at the moment, and I do a lot of maternity now. So I just thought it would help to have something. So then hopefully I can start selling wall art to them as well.
Yeah, do it. I mean, you fit 40 anyway, so you can do 40, you can do 30. It's just not in a place where people are just directly looking at it all the time, because that's where you want those pieces that will sell you the family.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I had no intention of ordering a family sample until tonight. And I'm like, I don't have a family sample, and Maggie will slap me if I don't.
So look at it this way. So there's 41 people on chat right now. How many of those are currently pregnant or expecting to be pregnant in the next 2 years, let's say, because that's when you need the money? Probably what, 2, 3, 4, if you're lucky, 10%. How many?
Shaz just took a really sheepish suck of her drink.
All right, yeah, same. But
that was really interesting timing, Shaz. Nope, if you look at what you're talking about, I'm drinking some Diet Coke.
It's probably about 30 people out of those 41 who could do with a family shoot tomorrow. So you have bigger scope for clients if you aim for that key piece to be a piece that relates to more people.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. As does everything that you say.
Who cares? No, but you always think about it. Obviously, we run it as a business. We run it for money, essentially, unless, you know, it's a hobby, it's great, but we run it for money. In order to run it for money, you need to see what brings you more money numbers wise. So that's why I said, like, in terms of style, when I mentioned it to Chris. So if you think about it, you have 100,000 town, 100,000 people town, and you're the only photographer in there. And you decide, I want to have a style. My style is going to be, everything's going to be green. And then suddenly it turns out of those 100,000, only 5% like green. But if you say my style is green and orange, suddenly it's 10%. The wider you go, you know, the more clients naturally you'll have. If you aim for families, you go the widest you can go, because that literally relates to everyone. Everyone can find, you know, benefit of a family shoot. Even if you don't have kids, you can have your grandparents, you bring your parents. It's always going to be a family shoot in one way or the other. You bring your animals, you know. For me, family shoot doesn't necessarily comprise just for, you know, of kids. Bring the animals, bring their grandparents, bring anyone. You know, it's always whoever you consider a family. So anyone can do with it. It makes your kind of pool of people bigger. Relates to everyone. But yeah, good ass. So what else have we got? What else have we got?
Thank you very much, Rich. So let's see who's up next. Jenna again, back with the images. Do we still have you online? That's the thing, Katarzyna. Let's see if I can search for her.
It's like those radio competitions. Are we calling? We calling our listener?
Feel like Alan Partridge, if I'm honest. Yep. Asked to unmute. There we go. Hello.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good.
You're still with us?
We're back. We're back.
Yeah.
Right. So you have a set of
lovely
fine art style images here, yeah? That you've
yeah, mostly it's that kind of style, like, you know, moody and fine art.
That's really nice.
So a few in black and white, some really beautiful colors there with the nice auburn hair and stuff like that. All portrait.
Yes, and it's mostly
portrait.
60-40
landscape.
Mostly children as well.
Sorry?
Mostly children.
Yeah. Good.
I mean, product-wise, you know, these, like we were saying, fine art natural. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely designed almost for them, you know. That space that we talked about in your studio in the far left-hand corner, one of those as a portrait, as a 40-30, would look absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. In the wall,
and the crop fits
something like that.
3 to 4. Good crop. Yeah.
It would be perfect. You know, the print would suit it perfectly. The texture of the paper would suit it perfectly. You know, that would be ideal for that.
For the biggest piece of the wall, or for the smaller?
I would say for the 40-30. I mean, like what we said, the image, the sort of hypothetical image that we had in the middle was 60-40. So you're going to need maybe a landscape image for there. I mean, you know, it totally depends upon the work that you have. And if you shoot mainly portrait, then maybe we need to look again at the sort of the layout that we discussed with it. But one of these, certainly for a big 40-30 fine art natural, would be absolutely stunning.
Yeah. What about the frames? I'm kind of like, you know, I'm on the side with the frames.
I mean, personally, I think a Sovereign Grande would be stunning with that, because, you know, it would be a really lovely big thick piece there, and you know, it would suit the tones really well as well. If you went for or something.
Okay.
And then for these really beautiful black and whites with like the sort of matted blacks, you know, that effect's lovely. I think maybe a more traditional frame for that. I don't know what you think, Maggie.
Yeah, and if it's a print that we go in, because that would look really nice as a print as well, I would go wild and have a black mount for this.
Yes.
Thick, solid black mount, and
double cut black mount with a black core.
Yeah.
That would look fantastic, because with black mounts, they're not 100% black because of the nature of the card, that the archival card it's made of. It's slightly matted as well, so it would suit those tones beautifully. So if you had a black frame with a black double cut mount, is someone strangling a gerbil somewhere?
Okay.
You can get away with black matte because your conversion, the black and white conversion here is perfect. You know, in her face, you have that contrast, you have highlights done to perfection, you know, you have the darkness. For some of the black and white conversions, if your conversion is quite flat and it's more gray than contrasty, if you look at your histogram and you tend to have quite a lot of pixels in the middle, but not peripherals, then black frames or mounts can overwhelm an image. But here I think it's just going to be spot on because you have that contrast, you have that peripheral blacks, you have the whites, you have a bit of everything, so it's going to add to an image really, really nice chunky mount.
Yeah, so that's, yeah, thank you then. Yeah, you give me some nice ideas. Thank you so much.
Excellent, thank you very much again.
Thank you.
Okay, so we've got Lindsay Reed with a few images here. Lindsay, are you still with us? Nope. Nope. Lindsay's gone. So if I go back to, so at the moment I'm getting images from Facebook Messenger, emails on here and stuff like that. So please bear with me a second.
Kasia, just mute yourself.
Okay, sorry.
Right, unless you've got any questions. Any questions?
No, thank you. No, I'm done here.
Just for the doggy. We like dogs, but not just now.
Oh, was that the dog? Okay.
Yeah. Unless it was a choked squirrel. Right.
So Bruna, are you still with us there?
I am, yeah.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm not bad. So you've got in, you got settled now?
Yeah. I've been eating cake.
Excellent.
So definitely.
So we're you've sent a couple of images across
yeah.
on Facebook there. Let's have a look. 2 seconds, please. Right. So the images that you've sent across, they're, you know, varied. So, but we can kind of get a brief overview that if can everyone see this? Okay, actually, yeah, sharing from Facebook. Predominantly newborn images, is that right?
Yeah.
And in terms of the space that you've got, when we were discussing that one big wall and then the wall that you're going to be replacing the sort of smaller sphere in, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean,
I just don't know which ones to choose. There's just so many that I like, so I'm kind of a bit undecided on which ones to go for.
For the big one, because obviously we talked about the light falling on the yellow wall. That was it.
Yeah.
So you've got that massive space. You're trying to avoid having one baby as such, because if you just have that newborn at 40 by 60, it's going to scare everyone into not buying it, because they're going to think like, oh my God, this is way too big. It's bigger than my baby is ever going to be at. It's too much.
Yeah.
So I would go for sibling images. I would go for family images for those bigger pieces. Newborns are great if you want to use them as a collection piece or something smaller to fill a bit smaller space if it's just one baby or if it's a close-up as well. Unless it's a sibling image, then you know you can go for bigger ones. The only problem is the sibling image that we've seen here. One in the middle, this one. This one's all right. It's just the other one. Yeah, this one. I would avoid this one for many reasons. You chop the hand, yeah. And now I tell you, you're never going to unsee it, and you'll not want to have it on your wall. Chop the hand, and it's uplit as well. It would need cropping, 3 to 4 to get them a bit more centralized, because it's 2 to 3 now. You can save it. I mean, you can darken highlights and things like this, but I think the other one would be probably better long term, because obviously you don't want You're not buying samples just for Christmas, they're for the whole year.
Yeah.
So you're getting something that you can first of all replicate, and the second thing is not going to annoy you 2 days into it, because when you see problems with an image, next thing that happens, you despise this image. The next thing that happens, you stop selling it because you don't like the image. You need to have something that you genuinely love. So whichever image you absolutely love, then you work from there as well, and obviously from a session that you can that brings you money. But yeah, sibling image for anything bigger, sibling or family. With regards to color and black and white, do mix it up. I do have quite a lot of, like, my massive ones they're color, they're black and white, but you tend to find, unless you specialize in black and white, you need to look at that conversion to make sure it's amazing for years to come. People tend to gravitate more towards color for some reason when they buy products.
Okay.
I mean, Alex would know that because he prints them. Is it more color or is it more black and white?
Vastly more color. Vastly more color.
This is lovely. See, like for this,
for specifically stylized images like that, you know, like your backlit parents holding baby in the spheres and stuff like that's really popular. The right kind, you know, like the images we saw before from Catagenia, you know, they would be crazy in color. You know, they're perfect for black and white.
Yeah.
I'd say 90% of the work through the lab's color.
Yep.
Like this is a lovely image. That
Yeah,
I would want to get big ones.
On that one's really, really beautiful. Yeah. That, as a sibling shot, that works great, doesn't it?
That is really nice. Her eyes are perfect. She's like, well done for getting this age to look like this. This is lovely.
Thank you.
The white wrap that you've got on the baby, darken that because it almost takes away that focus from her eyes, and her eyes are epic. So yeah, I would darken this. Darken top right corner a touch, but not much. And that would be the image that I would look at to get big. You know, that's gonna be the image that's not gonna annoy you for 2 years, 3 years down the line. I would be proud of it. So
thank you.
Really nice. If you want to edit that, just
work quite well with the screen, wouldn't it?
For the round one, just for anyone who orders 40 by 60s, 30 by 40s, run over that image over and over again, because if you printed that size, that little fluff that was in the digital that you've seen suddenly becomes a big fluff, and that's going to annoy you. So go with it, zoom in, edit every single bit, because that shows, and it'll drive you insane when it's at this size.
With something like that as well, check how you've masked stuff off.
Yeah.
Because check your levels. I would put like a histogram on there and really check that is 100% black, because you don't want to hear the language that the print guys come out with if they print that at 60/40 and it's got clone marks all over it, sort of thing. It's so easy to do. I mean, unless you're really sort of like raising the levels for this style of image, it's so easy to do.
Okay.
Awesome. We've got a couple.
And again, with this image, just if in case you want to print it, just a little thing. And for a lot of people that I've seen this done, that leg, strong highlights, that takes away from the focus of the face. The face is actually darker than the leg. And I know the lights it's almost uplit, which is not ideal, but you're trying to darken it if you can in post. So bring that focus back to the face if you decide to print this as a sample.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I've just seen the message there. Nina Callow, are you still with us? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Hiya, how you doing?
I'm all right.
Sorry, I just saw that come through there. Obviously, we're just working through on the list that.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had got them because it was yesterday or not. Thank you. I've just whizzed over a family image because of what you said. Just if you wouldn't mind quickly checking if you've got that on your email, that it is cohesive with everything else. You know what I mean?
Oh, firing them over on the emails as well, Nina. You're keeping us guessing here.
I didn't know what was the best way to.
It's 10:30 on a Friday night, Nina. Come on.
Yeah, and you've got way too many, Alex, because I didn't mean this many for this. I've probably sent you about 10 pictures. It was more. So yeah, I mean, just by all means, please whiz through super quickly. And if Maggie sees something that particularly she thinks would work with what she suggested, that would be fab. But I'm definitely interested in that.
If we just bring up your sort of your maternity images now, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from what Maggie said, I think maternity is now going to be a definite no. So almost.
Not that it's no, but it's just don't make it a feature. Don't put it in a main space, because that space is supposed to sell you as much as you can. So have it as a sample, but not unless you specialize in maternity.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay, right.
Nice.
So, don't worry about Cake Smash either, Alex. If you wouldn't mind just bringing up newborns, and if you have got that family one, I just would like Maggie's opinion on whether that is sensible given the difference between my studio and my outdoor style to have it on a wall in a studio or not. So this would be my classic kind of outside family work, which is very different to my very white, neutral, stripped back studio style. So would that be all right to put that up on the wall?
No, because you don't see that many faces here. I know like it's supposed to be emotional and thing, but at the moment the only emotional I see is from mom, borderline from the girl on the right. There's a lot, this chaos going on, and chaos sometimes is good, but it's not good in this particular image.
If I had this kind of thing with everybody looking at the camera, which is another classic image I take, then good.
Yeah, you don't need everyone looking, but at least, you know, majority of them fairly visible.
Yeah.
I see more asses than faces, and that's, unless it's the boudoir, it's not a good thing.
Fair enough.
And the green is quite strong, you know, that green takes away quite a bit.
This is your newborn one, yeah?
Yes, thank you, Alex. So it's just a few I grabbed, and I've got a little girl, more of a sitter kind of age here that might work. I don't know, but it's all very.
Go back, one back. See, that's nice. That's nice. You've got focus, you know, tidy up the red patches on the cheek, but that's all right. I like that.
It's the engagement with that one, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what would you print those up with? Because I'm not sure what of mine would work in an orb, in a circle, because last time I asked for some opinions on this, everyone was saying my things aren't curled up, and therefore would I put it in a circle, because I don't do that kind of thing.
And I wouldn't put that in a circle either.
No.
I would frame it. I would frame it in white.
That one might work in a circle, the sitter.
That's lovely.
Yeah. That's a really nice image. The tones are really nice, and that the dad looks really, really chuffed. The kid's got direct engagement with you.
That's not a circle. You're gonna chop that off, the whole thing.
Elbow. Yeah, I know. God.
Yeah, then you can't have that chopped. There's gonna be too much chopping. And it's good tattoos. You don't want to lose the tattoos unless you've got a wider crop for this.
I might have. Yeah.
I think it works as it is. I think it's really, really nice. As it is, crop wise.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that would make a really beautiful Camden tray frame with a wood finish on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, because I'm going to go with your ideas.
Wood would work really well with that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I really like what you suggested to do with the gallery wall type thing, etc., etc. And now it's just working out what images to use in those things you've suggested. So these were just prior to that conversation, a few that I'd sent over. So thank you.
Amazing. Right.
Thank you very much, both of you.
It's not that many. You said it's that many. It's not that many.
There's a whole load that you haven't seen, Maggie. There's a whole set of Cake Smash ones that you don't need to see, and a few more sitters. But yeah, thank you. It's been really helpful.
That's lovely.
So, just quickly, I think I've got through everybody that sent the images. Oh, no, Gemma Yeomans.
There's always one.
Hello. You've stayed with us. How are you doing?
I have. I'm very tired.
Oh, I'm so sorry. There's been heaps to get through.
Alex needs to make it worth it.
Yeah.
I'm going to make everybody tired now with all my images that I've sent in.
So, you've popped them through on Facebook to me, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay, bear with me 2 seconds.
WhatsApp, Gmail. Whilst you're looking for the images, just for everyone, not a compulsory thing, but if you remember to take Dad's watch off, because that's another thing that takes away focus, and this literally would be 100% focus on a baby otherwise, and now you've got the watch that kind of slightly takes the focus away. So if you can do it, unless you have Dad's coming with Rolex and like, I'm wearing this watch on purpose because I want to have a picture with it, and you'll get that too occasionally, but other than that, if they're okay with it, just take the watch off.
Brill. Right. I think I'm almost there. Get this shared and should be able to see it now. So, Gemma, you have. I'm going to get to the end of the
Sorry.
So,
hand chopper.
Yep.
Do you want to go to the? Do you want to go to the orb one first?
Which one? Sorry.
Do you want to go to the orb picture first?
Oh yes, because of course you've got this beautiful image already.
Yeah, that's lovely.
And you were sort of wondering whether that was going to work with another 2 different images.
Yeah, I want to create a bubble wall, and that's 24. So I need a 30 and a 12.
You need 40.
I don't know if it'll fit. It's like
Too
an
close
apex
size-wise.
It's an
I don't
apex
mind.
space.
It is close size-wise. If you do 24 and 30, it's close size-wise. It's not going to be enough differentiation between
I will
them.
measure my apex space.
Okay.
Because it's that conversion, isn't it, at the top?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will fit. It's nice.
So if we went for 40, 24, and then would you change the 12 to 16?
Yes.
Because the one I've already got is 24.
24 and what, 12 to 16, 24. If you go 40, yeah. So 40, 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, either is gonna work. It's just the big ones that basically it's like an ISO if they're close size wise, because it's almost like you try but not hard enough to make it different.
Yeah.
It's supposed to look like splatter. So if you think about it, it's supposed to look random, but not too close to size.
I have sold one. I sold one, and I do agree with what you're saying. The 30 and the 24 are too similar in size.
Okie dokie.
So I don't know how to go with it because we've got a girly newborn one. I don't know then whether to go sitter, because I mean I love sitters, they're my favourites. I like cake smashers as well. So obviously parents don't want a massive cake smash on their wall. So I thought maybe do the 16 or the 12 as a cake smash, and then the bigger one as the sitter. That's my thought.
Depends what you're going for, because if that's an image like this, then round shape obviously chops quite a lot of that setup. So you're gonna
I
wait.
was just gonna say that.
Yeah, that's not a round image. That's an image.
Okay.
Okay.
100%. You want to keep that all in because it's styled beautifully.
Yeah.
And it would be such a shame to lose the effort that you've gone to with that. Because even though there's loads going on there, it's all. It's perfect.
There for a reason.
From the kid,
So shall we go newborn, family, and sitter?
Are you having that collection with the same child growing up, or is it totally different?
So this, so I thought I could use, I don't have to use the same child, but I could use babies that look similar to make it look like it was almost the same child.
Could do.
Yeah.
Could do.
That's what I thought.
I would do the same with that as well, because it's one of those ones where you'd be like, of course it's the same kid. No one's going to look too close.
Yeah.
But you could get across the styles that you want to display, and it not sort of stand out. I get what you're saying. I don't know what you think, Maggie, with
Yeah, no, it could do. It's just more with collection for me. I mean, all sorts of collections. You can have beautiful collection when they're quite similar. You can have them all different. If you're going for collection, you've got that orb already, then it's busy. It's busy, it's got flowers, it's got things going on. You're going to have the cake smashes, it's going to be busy. Whatever you go for the third image, it kind of needs to be busy as well. So just to keep it, gelled together, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, with a similar baby, faking is the same.
No.
Just make sure, don't say, oh yeah, it's the same baby. No, it's not. This is my son at 6 days old. Yeah. So
it's so hard, isn't it? Because you either go 3 completely separate images, but I want to kind of give the vision that they can create a bubble wall from the 3 sheets. But I don't know. Do I want to do that?
Kind of, you don't. Do you really want to do it? Because if you think about it, if you do it as bubble wall from 3 shoots, you're selling 1 piece of wall art to
Yeah.
that person each shoot. If you sell it as a 3 from 1 shoot, you're aiming for 3.
Yeah.
Not that I'm greedy,
Okay.
but you know, kind of, then you can have 3 sessions times 3 orbs or 3.
I mean, we've all
You
got
know.
bills to pay, Maggie, you know.
I'm greedy, all right. It's a storytelling thing. So no, if you do it from 1 session, it's just basically bigger chance of you selling multiple images as wall art from that session.
Okay.
Awesome,
It's
you
just
really
so-
got up those cake smashes. They're lovely.
I do
They look
love
great,
cake
don't they?
smashers. I do love them. It's just hard to choose the other 2 images that are going to go with this orb. That's what I'm really struggling with.
This is awesome.
It's a tricky one because if you are dead set on the collection, and you know this isn't coming from a sort of salesy point of view, if you're dead set on the collection, I would consider, and even though the one that you have is stunning, is going with a collection of 3 from the same shoot for exactly the reasons what Maggie said.
Okay.
Because you'll sell them a lot more if you display them, because it puts it in people's minds.
Yeah.
Keep that other one as a sample somewhere else or something to bring out for that style or something. But that would, if it's causing you a lot of issues trying to decide on the other 2 that would fit in with it, that's all.
Yeah.
Depends what else you've got. Because, for example, if you have rectangular collection from the same shoot and it's all part of a story, you don't want to have the same thing multiple times in different shapes. So if you already have that in a way of having a collection from 1 shoot, 5, 6 different, 3 or 4 different frames, then there's no pressure on this. You can have it from different shoots if you want to. But if you don't, then I would have at least 1 example of how people can present the whole story within a collection.
Yeah.
Just purely because you can upsell easier, because otherwise if they have the idea, I'm going to start my legacy wall, so today I'm going to get 20 inch, next time I'm going to get 30, the next time never happens, and I need we have bills to pay today, next time it's a bonus, but today is a certainty. So
Okay. So either 3 from the same shoot or 3 completely different ones.
Yeah.
I mean, the backlit images look great as spheres. They really do work, and the 2 that you've got there are beautiful. They would work great. There will obviously be a little bit of Photoshop work to do, but when it's white and grey kind of thing, it's a little bit easier.
What I would do, for example, if you don't have any, have you not got any like story collections from 1 shoot?
I've got multi apertures from 1 shoot.
Multi apertures, yeah, you can have that because it's like that's different. That's always you're aiming always to be from 1 shoot anyway, so it's part of a story. But for that, that's for everyone as well. So you have a dilemma whether to go 1 shoot or multiple shoots. Think about it like this: if you have 3 images that are rectangular from 1 shoot, it's always going to be easier to achieve that from 1 shoot. If you're aiming for a collection of round acrylics, it's easier to do it from different sessions overall moving forward, because you shoot for round. And there's only so many things you can shoot for round. So if you think I need to have a story collection, so I would have, for example, like this shape, you've got rectangular, have 3 rectangulars from 1 session, and then have completely different, bubble wall from different sessions, maybe that looks similar, but from different sessions, just because it's hard to nail a really epic round image that fits with a round shape from one session as such. You're aiming for those images. So whereas, for example, newborn, you have this backlit, you have the aerial, certain images don't work with round. And I find for cake smashers are easy to do as rectangulars. But when it comes to, different sessions have specific poses that you replicate. And for cake smashers, unless you shoot wide, there's not that much to crop, because you find that backdrop actually works. Is there on purpose?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I'm like jazzy, completely jazzy.
Yeah, I think so.
And anyone
I'm
that's
not
tried
sure.
to throw in wooden floorboards to create a sphere will know that it will drive you insane.
Yeah. I just don't know what to choose. I really don't know what to choose for the other 2 or 3 if I have 3 now.
I mean, like you say, if you have 3 new ones, I would go, with one of the sort of the shoots that you have there, where you've got a nice set of images. Personally, but you know,
like this is easy for round. You know, bish bash bosh. That's your round image. Not a problem. You can, you know, add space, etc. With cake smashes, you're shooting yourself in the foot, because if someone says to you, "Oh, you know, I really like those. Can we have 3 round ones?" and you look at the backdrop and think, "I'm going to drive myself insane extending that wooden floor."
Yeah.
So give people an idea of things that you can replicate easier. So
Okay.
so anything that's easier for you. For example, like I'm thinking, what's my bubble wall? My bubble wall it's a tiny image of newborn with the seamless backdrop, because I know I can do that over and over again. It's a close-up of a cake smash with no, essentially it's not focused on the backdrop as such, it's focused on a baby because it's got such an epic expression, but that was shot as a close-up, so you don't lose pixels.
Yeah.
So you're avoiding problems for yourself. If you shoot, if you have 3 bubbles, 3 round ones of setup, that's hassle for you right now. Think about it every time someone wants it as a wallet, and you think, oh my God, where am I going to get this floor from? I can't do it, and it looks fake. You know, I cloned it and it just looks out of place. So make your life easier. Show them an example of things that it's easy for you to crop as round. Like this one, for example, we've got on, perfect. It's literally perfect. If you had that image, for example, you want to have a collection from one session, and you aim at the back of your head, you aim that potentially you have it as a sample, you want to have it as a collection. I would shoot them as a family as they are here, and I would shoot that baby on his own.
I've got the baby on its own because it was
on
part of
seamless
Cake
paper.
Smash. No, so that if you look, the next image to it is the baby in the Cake Smash setup. Not that one. Next to that, no, the other side. Sorry. That's
Lovely.
the same baby. And then I've also got another picture, but it's landscape of the mum breastfeeding.
Yeah.
But maybe I don't want that. Yeah.
Are we going to crop that round if it's landscape? Let's have a look.
I've not got that on show. It's not on
All
there. But I have got that one.
Yeah, for those, the biggest round one would be the family, because obviously you want to appreciate everyone's faces. So that always needs to be the biggest one. And parents are going to tell you, no, we want our son to be the biggest. We want to be the smaller one. You need to explain to them why they would be the biggest, because literally there's more people. You want to get it as big as possible. And then have, for example, his face cropped round for the smaller one, because that's going to be enough of a face and image to justify 12-inch or 25-inch or 16, whatever you want. You can make it into a collection from that, and it's still kind of touching Cake Smash, but at the same time it's easier for you. Easy crop.
You don't think the background's too distracting, because the other 2 images all have the seamless anyway.
No, but if you're going around with this, you chop quite a lot of this anyway.
Yeah.
Always keep in mind that if you're cropping a lot, then that's the image that you want to have smaller, because the quality is going to be obviously degenerated.
Yeah. Okay.
It is doable. It is doable. And this way, you're also tapping into the family image scenario, because you have the family image that as the largest one, and at the same time you have a collection. So 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you.
Solution to all the problems. Just make sure the clients that you shot as a collection are clients that you like, because otherwise you look at them for years to come.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Alex.
Right. Cheers. So, Magdalena, can you unmute yourself, please? Hello.
Hiya.
Hiya.
How you doing? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
You've stayed awake. I mean, everyone's doing really well. Really.
It's more and more people. I'm really worried no one's sleeping these days. Friday.
This is my normal time, you know, for work. So usually I'm going to sleep like 3 o'clock in the morning. So for last 2 weeks.
Oof, that's rough.
Yeah.
I mean,
I had an nap before, just you know, before we started.
So you got the preparation in, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just share the screen 2 seconds. So this is selection of your boudoir work, yeah?
Yes. And to be honest, I'm really undecided. And because I have this new studio, and Alex, you've seen the studio, yeah? So
studio, yeah.
You know how much space I have, and it's a little bit tricky because it's like really old building, and and the walls are not high, and there is not too much space. And because I'm shooting also with natural light, and I'm using the space as a room, so I can put only in few places. So we just chosen the places where we can hang the images, but I still don't know which one I want to put.
Yeah,
I have
so you've got
few
about
favorites.
5 or 6 different areas, haven't you? Where images could go, and you know they're probably round about what 30 by 40 max, unless that big wall at the stairs.
Yeah,
you could get like a 60-40 there, but I think you quite preferred getting 2 different images in there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just quickly go through the images from Maggie.
Because, and this is the tricky thing, because I'm shooting mostly boudoir women, but I also shooting pregnancy, and I'm also shooting still portraiture and families and children sometimes. And I have the old photos with the, you know, with the portraiture, like children and all stuff, but I still need to update everything with the boudoir, because I need to put more for boudoir, because this studio was specially designed for boudoir. We passed through. Okay.
We're past, yeah. There we
Yeah.
go. That was the image I was looking for.
Yeah. So about this one, I was always seeing this one in a circle.
Okay.
When I was thinking about this, but with the selling point, I don't think that I will shoot that much to sell this, you know, the orbs. I still love orbs.
If you want to display orbs, you're essentially limited to what you can crop, because your images, they as they cropped, you literally, there's no need to crop any further or, you know, round them up and things like this. And also with the poses, there's not that many, as you said, there's not that many you could round up as such. So if you are determined to have an orb, that's probably the closest you'll get to having an image that fits that shape.
I don't know. I was, you know, because that was the original. But when I was thinking, I love orbs. I don't know why, but I love orbs. And probably I will not sell them. I sold 3 in last, I don't know, year. But it was mostly portraiture and wedding.
How many round things have you got in the studio? How many round acrylics, round spheres? One
old one, children.
There we go. And that is your answer. You can't sell something you don't display. And even if you have one, essentially that naked woman cannot imagine herself in that image if there's a child in there.
Yeah.
So it's naturally the situation's against you. You need to help yourself by getting something up on the wall that's more relevant to what you're shooting now.
Yeah. So that was my favorite. And I don't know, when I was thinking about this, I've seen this straight in a circle. Maybe I could add a little bit more space, you know, the white on the top and the bottom. So to have this, like, you know, nice white space around. But that was my circle.
With the display as well, I would say, I don't know how, like, with regards to layout your studio works, but if you still have children and a family, if you can whack all that on one wall, that would probably help, because if you mix up nude with children and family, it's kind of, you know, it's out of place, if that makes sense. I would have separate area if you can spread it into different areas. Definitely.
I need to think about this.
But do you want to shoot more families and kids and everything, or you are kind of keeping
I don't want to leave, really. I'm focusing mostly on boudoir now, and most of my bookings are boudoir, but still I have, you know, some family sessions or children sometimes, and I still, you know, training in children portraiture.
Yeah,
I was going to say, a lot of your training focuses upon that, isn't it? So
yeah,
could it be that you have, and I know Maggie mentioned before that it's a bit of a pain, but could you swap images out depending upon the shoot or the workshop that you have on?
I could probably,
because you've got a space at the back behind the stairs almost sort of thing,
Mm-hmm.
which is sort of dead space for the client, but it could be quite good storage space sort of thing. So again, I'm not trying to get you to buy double the amount of wall art, but
what you're trying to do is stop teenage boys, if they come for a family shoot, to be surrounded by boobs. Yeah, that's what we're aiming for.
No, I don't have that much families, because really I focused on boudoir, and I felt all the time that I would be doing this since beginning. And to be honest, I feel the best with this, but I still want to do maternity. I don't want to cut income to do only boudoir, because I can still shoot, pregnancy, because I want to do pregnancy, and I want to do boudoir, but also, I still have portraiture. I have like 20% is business branding. And I'm just shooting beauty industries. So I'm not sharing this, but I still have, bookings with this. So also it's like, branding, but it's not in my studio. So this is total separate, but studio was especially designed for boudoir. That's why I want to add the most of the pictures boudoir, but I need to have some space also for children. Probably not children, maybe
it's just messaging in the group chat there saying, you could swap the wall art around and stuff like that, depending on there is that option. But like you say, if the majority of what you want to sell is boudoir, make that the primary focus. I mean, like this one here, I think we discussed before, in the the new
gold frame
sort of thing. That's going to be absolutely stunning.
Metallic paper.
Ooh,
yeah, actually. So this one will be definitely on my wall, but and it was shoot in Becky's studio.
Becky Ray.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
It was in Becky's studio, yeah.
Yeah, this is horizontal. So if you have low ceilings or you have limited space, that will fit really, really nicely in that space as well. Oh, cool.
So the one thing, I have couples here. So I have bridal boudoir. So I wanted to put at least one picture with bridal.
Yeah.
And this picture is mostly viewed on Google.
Okay.
From not this one, it's similar, but this one is not that cut because the other one is really a big close-up. But this is the most viewed picture on Google, for example, when I put this and I checked.
Right.
So it's getting interest. It's not, I wouldn't say that it's, the best, but it's just getting attention.
You don't want anything too heavy with that. You don't want a big clumpy frame or anything like that. Something either, a white frame even might be a little bit too stark because you've obviously got that explosion of dark hair coming at the corner. So I think what we'd have to do is try a number of different options on that one, mock them up and see what would work. I mean, I don't know what you would suggest, Maggie, but I mean, for me, it can't be too clumpy and too overbearing.
Thin. I'm gonna go like totally. No one would expect this with the image, because obviously you have the softness of the lace, and you would think, oh, just do something soft, maybe like wood, some kind of soft. But I would go really thin, silver metallic, but not shiny metallic, like brass,
like
a brush silver. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like a matted silver, just because it ties in with that shadow that's leaving the horizontal line. So I would have that literally matted metal silver. So it's almost like gray, but it's not gray, because gray would just look flat in here, and it's quite, their eyes shine, the hair shines. So you kind of want to have a bit of that around.
The style what I'm shooting is mostly more modern, especially with the boudoir.
That would give you a clean finish, but also it's a cooler color. So you've got those cool tones in the image. There's not that much warmth in the image. So you would carry that with the frame as well.
Yeah, again, the Illumi frame would be perfect then. It's 5mm profile.
Yeah, that's for me, I think it works
because
the
it's
best.
quite a deep aluminium. The rigidity is there, so you could go up to any size you wanted, really.
Yeah. That's what I would do with this.
We have a choice, and the next one, so it's gold. We were thinking about this. We were talking about this one with gold frame, because my studio has got lots of. It's white, and it's pounds, and it's got lots of gold details, and the furniture, and the legs, and everything is gold. And it's old style building with beams. It's just
dark brass. Dark brass.
That burnished gold kind of thing that we spoke about. Really deep tray frame with the acrylic. I think that would be stunning with that.
Yeah. And if you could go further, this one. Yeah. It's only one pregnancy, but I love this one.
Yeah.
It's just like classic.
What I would do, I don't know why, but I would do that as a satin acrylic with the black frame or no frame. So, but satin acrylic.
I was going to say no frame, actually.
No frame.
That it would carry it enough by itself, sort of thing.
Yeah. And I don't like satin acrylic, so this says a lot, because for some reason, you know, it doesn't resonate with me, but I think it resonates with this image. I think there's no need for this image to be glossy. It's nice as it is. Get it as satin.
It's quite intense highlights and shadows here. It's like glowy skin. So
yeah.
If you add, yeah.
The only thing I would say with that is satin acrylic would lift the black slightly as well.
I know.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna okay. So similar to the ones that we saw before, where the blacks were lifted slightly, that would be the finished effect with that.
I think for me, it's there's a function in this. It is actually going to work really, really well. It's just to mattify that.
Yeah.
Around.
Yeah. Are you taking notes, Alex?
Good.
He's got it recorded. Don't you worry. He's just going to play it back.
Yeah. With this one, I didn't know. I just put, few photos which could be on the wall or not. It's just really, I haven't decided. I had lots of, galleries and still working on some of them. But this one it was also many times asked for to shoot this kind of shoot. So that's why I was thinking, but I don't know to put this or not, really, because I still have couples and this is black and white. So I just put two versions of this.
I like the black and white mind. I think that looks great.
It's got something, and I had already like 4 or 5 clients asking for the same, for this kind of shoot, really similar, the pose and, on this stool, which is not easy to balance.
If it's something that people are asking for, like what Maggie said before, if your clients are asking for it, then show it,
Do you have any space that needs vertical fill in your area? Because for me, I know it's not kind of standard, but I would crop this even more as a portrait. I would crop it thinner and I would fill a space in your studio that kind of requires that thinner, higher, stretch it.
Custom sizes.
Actually, I have. And we didn't talk about this, Alex.
Yeah.
When you're walking from the stairs, and there I have these 2 steps going to the main area where I hang the jackets next to it, and then there's the chimney wall.
Yes. Yeah.
So this could be really thin, not really thin, but thinner, and this wall is quite nice to put this bigger.
Because at the moment, when the way you've got it, that column drags it up, and it's nice. It's a good thing. There's no need to have that space. It doesn't. The space on both sides doesn't add anything to the image. I would literally narrow it, crop it tighter, and just have it like a column.
Oh, thank you, Maggie. Thank you.
And then you're gonna crop it and be like, oh, look, that doesn't really work. I think it will look really nice.
I really want to have this photo. And this is the other thing. It's my dilemma, because I have couple of photo shoots and I have more inquiries about this kind of photo shoots. And
how many images would you normally take in a shoot like this?
Oh, when it's couple, you know, I can have full gallery 20 photos, but not exactly the same, but as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
With different, you know, posing on that was on the sofa, so I had like, you know, few on the sofa, but like I like this one.
Look great in a
collection,
traditional style frame.
Actually, I have few really nice ones from this shoot when they laughing, also when they lying together on the sofa. This one,
like a foreplay on the wall, Alex. Imagine that as a collection.
Well, no, why I was asking how many do you get in the shoot, because I was also thinking like a really beautiful leather bound fine art album or something like that.
So I have full session from them with this one.
Yeah. I think a really beautiful like with the vintage leather black or something like that, and maybe velvet paper. We could do a really beautiful album like that for you.
Okay.
With the full session, because it's quite a personal thing for the couple, isn't it? It's not something that.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Like Maggie said, have foreplay on the wall.
I'm an exhibitionist. I would put it right up on the wall, everywhere.
This studio, it's, you know, the bed is taking all. It's like, you know, when you're going, you know that it's like more boudoir space than, you know, than normal studio.
Yeah.
If you put that on the wall, your kids will never bring anyone for sleepovers. Imagine that. Peace and quiet.
Yeah. I was thinking to move out there for a few days just to have quiet, you know, quiet time for me.
All right. So what else have we got? Let's have a look.
Let's go. This one.
Square.
Yeah.
Square.
Yeah. And light wooden frame to tie in with the doors.
Yeah. Like an oak Camden tray frame with like that shadow gap in there. But like you say, you could match the color of the doors up perfectly with it.
So this we were talking about this one or the big one as a big one, or on the chimney, just opposite this door. So
yes,
on the other side of the studio.
Yeah. I think it would work fab.
Square.
Satin acrylic.
I don't have any squares, so that would be also nice.
I mean, you're going to make Harriet Moss jealous with your square images, by the way. You know?
Because Magdalena hasn't got elbows in there. So
square.
But yeah, I think that would look perfect.
I know that I have few photos which I really want to have on the wall, and they are here in this collection.
Yeah.
So that was one of them, and the gold one, and the pregnancy one.
That gold one, I think, has to somehow be the sort of the showstopper almost sort of thing. Like that has to be quite large, I think.
But it needs to be in main space, probably. Not on over the stairs.
Wall I mean, it would be the first thing people would see, wouldn't it?
If they would walk in, yeah. On the stairs. Because I have, to be honest, I have only one quite big wall. It's a shame that I didn't take photos, but I wasn't in the studio so for last few days. So it's just like, because then it would be easier for you, even Maggie, to see how it looks. This one is just like.
If you have one big wall, I would have that award-winning one on that wall, because it is spectacular and it's art in itself, and it's, you know, vertical. If that wall has space for vertical, could fit that. Yeah, this one.
There is a corner.
Okay.
I don't know if I have I
It's
will not find it.
complicated. Oh, it was
Yeah.
going so well.
It's complicated because I didn't take photos. It's my you know.
All right,
my
no
fault.
worries. Let's have a look what else we've got. So much we stopped on that black and white.
Yeah, we
Start.
just got that. That's the last one there.
This
Okay.
one is not okay. Go next.
Oh, that's
I
the
like
last
it.
one you sent across.
Okay, so yeah, so these the few which I really wanted, and I have quite limited space where I can hang the pictures, so I don't want to do too
I
many
mean, if you're
for
looking
now.
at that, you've got 4, 5, 6. That's all
Mhm.
you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
You have
that
color,
one-
you have black and white, you have
which
white.
one here would crop in the smaller one to fill that space you were talking about?
That would be. This is a really good idea. Thank you, Maggie, because I've seen quite I think a few years ago on a trade show somewhere, like 3 really long boudoir, just pieces of the body, and they were like nice long black
Profile, yeah.
Yeah, and they were really stunning, and that's stuck me to to see that. So, and I forgot about this shape really. The question is, Alex, can you do that? Like
Well, of course you can do it. It's just when you shoot, you're gonna have to now keep the shape at the back of your mind to shoot for it. One more thing to remember.
Yeah, I
And then
have
that
few
one
like
definitely like you say, that big showpiece. That one and that gold one, I think, with the deep burnished gold frame that we spoke about. Definitely, I really love the idea Maggie had for that with the satin acrylic, possibly even frameless.
So how many different products I will have here?
What's that? 5? Is it 5? 6? 6.
6. So the first one is bridal boudoir
Yes.
with silver aluminium,
Like the brushed silver.
brush, yeah.
Yeah.
Then the gold one with gold frame. Then the black one with the
Satin
acrylic. Yeah. And then this one, the winning one.
Yes. Sorry, I'll move it along.
You wanted orb. If your heart tells you orb, you do it round. Because the thing is, if you see it as round, you will naturally be happier to talk about the product when you talk to clients. If it's something else and you're always going to see it as round, you're like, and this is not quite 100%, optimal display of it. And also, you wouldn't have any other round ones. So if you see it as round, get it as round.
Yeah. I really wish to see this in a round, in this circle. I just love it.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's just suit to this, and I like to have something different. I can't have everything, straight lines.
I think it would be fantastic to do, and it would be, like you say, it's how you envisioned it. So that's almost like, there's no other question for you, It has to be the way you pictured it.
And now tomorrow I will be standing in the studio and looking for walls and plan where to put this. Yeah, so this will be a circle, and then we have the one here, the long one, and the one square, and the couple.
Yeah.
What about the couple?
The couple
collection
album. Yeah, but I really wanted to have this on the wall.
Can't have everything on the wall if you haven't got a big space. So can't have it all.
Maybe I could stick this one somewhere.
You get the bigger studio.
I still have whole conservatory and a white wall.
Jokes
natural
aside,
light.
You do need a couple, right? Because if you shoot couples, you do need as an example of a couple somewhere. So stick it up there. It's just, how you're going to display it. I would probably have a story out of it.
I need to think about this one.
Yeah.
But okay, that's it. I think. Thank you. And it will be the square one, the white, the door.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I think with the Camden tray frame, with the oak or the walnut.
No, lighter, just to match the door. Just match that door. Just have it airy.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
Camden.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Easy peasy.
The walnut on the Camden's actually quite a light walnut, so
yeah,
it's not like a norm. It's not like the same color as the Sovereign ones or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Solved all the problems. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, really. I'm undecided so with everything. So it's just like
It gives you variety. So basically all of them essentially are different. You end up with different output, but they all kind of match, the output matches the image really, really well.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Fantastic.
Well,
listen, thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate you tuning in and taking the time to listen and go through that with everyone. Thank you. Huge thank you to Maggie. I mean, it's incredible. You haven't stopped talking for 3.5 hours.
40 years, man, 40 years.
And it's been fantastic advice for everybody. You know, I think hopefully everyone's got a lot out of it. If there are any questions, or if you've got follow-up questions about any of the sort of sample products, or if you want to check, you know, how things would look in certain frames or anything like that, get in touch with me anytime. With the, you know, the offers on from today up until the 31st of January. We've got loads more stuff coming out over the next couple of weeks, which will sort of tie into that. And yeah, have a good night, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Happy New Year again. And again, huge thanks to Maggie.
No worries. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was an absolute pleasure. I love doing it. So same time next year.
Oh, yeah, we'll do something before then.
Cool, cool, cool.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys. Good night.
No worries. Chat soon. Bye.